And we've been sitting here doing this for like 50, 60 minutes. So
Yeah.
the sales, boom, still coming in. You're not even working on this,
Yeah.
just making money. You've already made $8,000 today.
Did about 15 minutes of work this morning, and here's where we are. So, and you know, it's a Monday, always kind of a slow day. So let's check out yesterday. So you can see the date too, right? We're right out before Christmas, and we're still raking in these sales. So,
Yeah.
So yesterday we got $28,802 in sales.
It's absolutely massive, dude.
Yeah.
Insane.
Again.
And, well, like yesterday, let's paint a picture. We'll put it up on the screen. Last night, we were at a Bucks game.
Yep.
Okay, so put that up on the screen. You guys can see that really quick. And then during the day, I mean, you were traveling all day.
Yeah.
What time did you leave St. Louis to come here?
I left my house about 10 o'clock in the morning.
So you left at 10 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and you did not get on your laptop all day. I was there. I can confirm. Well, I wasn't there on the laptop. I wasn't there on the plane. I have no idea what he did on the plane.
Yeah.
But I can confirm that the rest of the day, because I picked him up from the airport. You know, we went to the Bucks game. We got dinner. You were out drinking, having a good time. You got a little drunk at the Bucks game, but it's okay. He's on vacation for the day. And how much revenue did you generate that day while you were traveling all day long?
Just shy of $29,000.
What's up, guys? Devin Zander here, your host, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the From Delivery Driver to CEO podcast, where we talk about how regular, everyday people became millionaires and how they did it. Today, I'm honored to introduce not just a friend, not just a business partner, but a mentor of mine, Matt Schmidt. Matt Schmidt, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, buddy. Glad to be here.
Dude, and I am excited to have you here. Guys, this is something, Matt and I have been working together for a few years, but he's really uncovered something absolutely astounding. Sold the business last year, and we'll get more into his story and all that. Started a brand new business this year, brand new business model, something people have never seen before. You saw basically an underutilized market and went in, and now you're making what, like 400, 500,000. I think you're, like over $500,000 so far this month, and we still got we're 30% or 60% of the way through. So it's absolutely astounding. And guys, if you stay with us until the end, we're going to show you that exact business model, how it works, how you can get started, and how you can start making money from it. Brand new, never before seen. It's exciting stuff. Stay to the end, and you will learn everything about it, as well as some of Matt's story and how he got to where he is today, super successful business owner. We're going to cover a few other things, such as how Matt went from living in his parents' basement, getting paid by his dad for chores so he could build his successful online business. Matt, that must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My parents kicked me out because I didn't do chores, so they sure did not help me start my business. So that's very lucky of you. We'll get into that.
Absolutely.
We'll also cover why Matt shut down a fairly successful online business, which seems counterintuitive. What mistakes that Matt made that nearly destroyed his income, but how he quickly recovered and went on to make $20 million plus last year, and why he decided to sell that $20 million business and start the new business model that we're going to be talking about today. So pretty interesting. You sold a $20 million business to start something new. I'm sure everybody else is going to be curious why, because that is quite a bit of money. And not just that, guys, but we're going to show you about that new business model and how you can create one. And it's what's important about this, and I don't want to, spoil the, like movie spoilers or whatever. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but what we're going to show you today is going to basically uncover how you can start a passive income business. So if you want to spend more time with family, which maybe that's why Matt did it, I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself. If you want to travel more, if you want to have nice things, if you want to go to football games, sit on the field like we were able to do yesterday, saw the Bucks game, worst
game ever.
Tom Brady appearance all time, right? If you want to have all these things, just like Matt does, like I've been able to do as well, and do it without, things like drop shipping, which is terrible. Drop shipping from China right now, like all ships stuck in port, frozen there forever, thanks to our overlord Biden. No, he's an all right guy, whatever. We'll show you how you can do it without paying for a ton of inventory or paying for inventory at all, which also means that you're not going to have to worry about Amazon. A lot of people are trying to make money with Amazon these days. Not a smart idea because it costs like $20,000 to get started, and the profit margins are slim, which what we're covering today has really good margins. We'll show you how I can do this without employees, without having to build a website. You won't even have to pay a hosting fee. So if you want something that has really low startup costs, would you say that this is the thing, Matt?
This is perfect for it.
Boom, dude. You don't have to deal with clients, no affiliate marketing, and maybe most importantly, maybe this is up to you, but you're not going to need special skills. You're not going to need a huge investment. Not even going to need to be good at ads. There are ads involved, just so you guys know, but you don't have to be good at them. These are literally the easiest ads on the planet. Oh my God. Don't need skills. Don't need tools. Don't need money. It sounds really promising, Matt. Did I cover it all? I mean, that is a lot. Did I miss anything?
I think that's it, man. I'm excited to share everything and hopefully be able to knock that ball out of the park you just teed up.
So with that, Matt, again, welcome to the From Delivery Driver to CEO podcast. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see how this man went from an everyday guy from St. Louis to a multi-millionaire. Are you ready to get started, my friend?
Absolutely, man.
All right. So, Matt, you've achieved a lot of success. You're living a great lifestyle now. You know, you got your family. You guys travel when you can. I'm sure it's hard with the daughters. You got the house, multi-million-dollar house. You got the car you've dreamed of your entire life. But it wasn't always that way. And I know that, like, when you graduated college, especially when that was, I'll let you tell about that. But when you got out of college, your life didn't really seem like it was going to end up this way.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it seemed like you were going to be stuck in corporate America forever, something like that. But, you know, I'll let you get into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started and how you ended up here today?
Yeah, I mean, it was a while ago, so we'll have to go back a little bit in time. And I got out of college at the peak of the recession back in 2009.
On that, though, I mean, like, tell me a little bit more. What was going on in 2008, 2009, just for the uninitiated who weren't around back then?
Well, it was the Great Recession, right? It's the worst economic crash since the Depression. Not a great time to be in the IT world. The world was promising when I was in college, and the second that economy crashed, jobs were fleeing, right? So I got this IT degree. It was a 5-year degree. All my buddies had 4-year degrees. They were all out in the job. And I was stuck, no prospects, nothing. Had to go back into my parents' basement.
So you essentially just spent, like, what was, did you say, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years in college.
Yep.
I'm sure, like, 6 figures. I mean, how much money does that cost?
6 figures plus,
So 6+ figures. You're there for 5 years, ready to start your life, and then reality, like, slaps you in the face, and then you're back to living in your parents' house.
Yeah, had to move in, had to bite the bullet, man. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And so, you know, the mission was clear, like, get back into my parents' basement, start applying for jobs and try to get out, right? Because I had a girl that I wanted to marry. I was dating at the time, and, you know.
Did you meet her in school?
I did, yeah. The 4th year, so we'd been together for a little bit of time. So I was already clear on what I wanted to do. And it's really hard to get married when you're living in your parents' basement, right? So
I can't imagine that girls don't find that to be too attractive.
It's not like I'm here for some security, right? So, you know, I don't remember the exact moment, right? Because all I'm doing all day is applying to these jobs, and so I'm on a computer, right? And one day out of all the no's that I was getting, I think I came across the idea, hey, I'll make something. I'll make a website. I'll drive some traffic to it, and I'll sell something, right? I got an IT degree. I can figure that out.
Yeah.
Right? And
was there, like, something you saw that gave you this idea, or you're just
I don't remember the exact moment, right? It's just one of those sparks, and I think it was just the hunger for something more, right? It was that I can do this on my own. I had something along the way, and like I said, I started this site. It was super hard to do, man. There was no. I mean, this is a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
there was no guidance. There was nobody doing this.
You basically had to know how to code and stuff like that to build a website.
No Shopify back then.
No
nothing.
ClickFunnels, no website builders, no Wix, or any of the cool things we have today. There wasn't even like
aging myself a little bit here, but yes, in the IT in this space, I'm a pretty old head as it comes to be. So I did stumble across something called Google Adwords.
Okay,
right,
I
figured out
with that.
So I figured out Google, maybe a company you've heard of before. They had this program called Google Adwords, and you can drive traffic to your site. That was still pretty hard, right? Because nobody wanted to read my product. But then I discovered this thing called affiliate marketing. So I started driving traffic to affiliate offers and made a little bit of money. But like I said,
I think there's a nuance to this story too. It was Google's own affiliate network you signed up for, right? So you were selling like Google's products essentially, or Google partner products using Google AdWords.
Yeah. So Google AdWords to the Google affiliate network. That comes relevant in a second in this story. So I was selling and it was doing pretty well, right? But like I said, I had no money, right? I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
So ended up the only source of income that I could find was hey, Dad, I'll basically take over chores of the entire house if you help me fund this thing.
What are like some of these chores? I mean, are you like mowing the lawn?
Mowing the lawn.
Folding your dad's underwear?
Yeah, where I'm from, when the leaves fall, there's a lot of leaves, so we're doing all that. Doing the laundry, doing basically whatever I could do, right? And my dad's a creative guy, so he helped me out, right? So he found stuff to do, so to speak. But he basically hired me, and that's what I was doing to fund my business. And luckily, along the way, I did end up getting a job. But as it is, and a lot of people might out here relate to that, I still had that itch, right? That itch that I initially sparked.
Yeah.
And I came home from this job that I thought that I wanted and I thought that I needed, and I still found myself working.
Yeah. So you're like doing chores around the house, and then you get it, and you're trying to pay for this itch, right? Scratch that itch, which is entrepreneurship, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is when you're an entrepreneur, is when you have that itch, when you feel like, I think I can do more, or I want more, or I deserve more, right? Yep. So you get the job, you're doing chores around the house.
Yep.
And you're using this to fund your business because you want to get married. And of course, I mean, you just want to be successful. I think deep down, that's like the American dream, or even the human dream is to be successful, right? So was this business successful? I mean, was it kicking off for you?
Yeah, it was, until Google shut me down, right? So again, Google AdWords to a Google affiliate network, if you guys are listening. Over there at Google. I still don't know how that worked, but
thanks a lot, Google.
Bright side, silver lining, right? At nearly that exact same time that happened, a little old company called Facebook opened up, again, dating myself, they opened up their ad platform for the first time. And since I had a little bit of experience, I was like, well, I can do this. And I took a look at it, and then again, I was like, I'm going to figure out a way to start a business with this. So I opened up a local marketing plan.
So you stopped doing the affiliate marketing at this point. You were like, this isn't working. If Google's going to shut me down for selling their own products, this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to do this. You found Facebook ads, and now you're like, oh, well, I'll run Facebook. What'd you say? Like I kind of cut you off there. A local marketing agency?
A local marketing agency. Funny story on that. Started with like a bar that I liked, picked up that. The golf course that I liked, I picked up them, started running their Facebook pages.
So just things that you're interested in. You're like, hey, I'll run your guys' Facebook pages. Did you have to run ads for them, or were you just like doing social media posts or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it was ads, but it was so primitive, so like you wouldn't even recognize what the ads were, right? So
it's just like the right-hand sidebar ads.
Yeah,
where back when
they didn't even have newsfeed ads at the time, or a mobile app.
Yeah, so that was back when they still had like the cleavage pictures on the ads, and it's like, do you want to meet hot singles near you? Those ads used to be on Facebook too, like
and a red box.
Yes, like the porn ads. They used to be on Facebook. So you're running ads and doing social media for a bar, golf course. Did you have other clients at the time, anything like that, or just?
We got up to about 5 clients at that time.
So you have 5 clients, and you were still working your 9 to 5 at this point, right, to fund it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's it was practically 2 jobs. I mean, a little bit more if you're being honest, right? Because you have so many clients and you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to scale it. That was the problem, right? Still very brand new. Again, nobody's really laying out how to do this in the world. So you're kind of just figuring out how to do it yourself. And I had to close it, man. It was too much.
Well, I can imagine, because, if you're trying to do client work, especially when you have a job, now it's like you have, so you said you had 5 clients, right?
Yeah.
And then you had a 9 to 5 job. So you essentially had like 6 9 to 5s, right?
Yeah,
there.
it was
because
wild.
You have clients, and they're all biting for your time. They're like, I want this, Matt. I want this, Matt. And the other guy's like, well, Matt, I want this. And then your boss, your actual job is like, Matt, I want this. And you're at work probably thinking of like your dream and your business and stuff, and your boss is probably getting pissed at you, something like that. So, I mean, what did you do after that? I mean, if you ended up closing that, because I imagine scaling it, the only way to scale a business like that, a client business, is to take on more clients, right?
Right.
And then it's like,
or take on employees, and I just couldn't, that wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, I was gone from 9 to 5. I was dedicated from 9 to 5. So how are you
going to manage?
How are you going to do it in the middle of the night? No one wants to talk to you when their businesses are closed.
Yeah. And then if you take on more clients, it's just like, well, now I've got no freedom in my life, and I am a slave to my business. So what did you end up doing?
So we closed that, and so I started again. I still had the itch, right? So the itch is there. I started looking for options, and actually a friend of ours put out a little bit of information about this print on demand industry where you could do T-shirts on demand You don't have to have your own T-shirts. It's not like you print your own T-shirts, have them in your house. It's a site. You would host it. A site called Teespring. You would host it.
Well, you wouldn't have to host anything, would you?
They would host it. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they would host it. You would just upload some artwork, drive traffic to it, and they took literally everything else. And I kind of was like, what am I going to sell? Who's going to buy it?
Yeah.
And I decided my mom was a nurse, and I decided, you know what? That's a super passionate field, right? I saw that my entire life.
Yeah.
And so
nurses are proud to be nurses.
Nurses are proud to be nurses, right? So I created some nurse T-shirts, and things started snowballing there, and I had a lot of success with it. It was great, and never had to print anything, never had to ship anything myself. They took returns and everything. It was all hands off, and so it was a perfect little fit for my 9-to-5 job to have something that I only had to do the traffic piece to.
Yeah. So. Can you give us like an example of one of these shirts? Do you remember any
I remember,
of your like sayings? I just want to give the people watching an idea. I really want to paint a good picture of like these print-on-demand T-shirts. So let me get this straight. Essentially, you go to this website. You said it was Teespring.
Yep.
This was like when, 2013, 2012?
I think that's about right, yeah.
Yeah, so you go to the website and you basically just upload artwork.
Yep.
Right? So you create something and it's probably just like, were you doing just text at this point or something?
Yeah, I mean, because it was such a novel concept at the time. As long as you could put that in the right spot, text would work, simple pictures would work. They had a little builder at the time, and it all worked pretty well.
And then what would you put like on a T-shirt?
So that one took a little bit to crack, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is like early stages of what would eventually become the businesses that we run today, which is interesting. I tried to think about what makes like a nurse unique, and you can do this with any niche, right? But what specifically made nurses unique? And I think it was a lot of what they saw on a day-to-day basis, right? Pretty tough stuff. So I asked my mom, what made you, like, what was like made nurses unique, or what are you guys passionate about? And she said a lot of them in her day were religious because of what they saw.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll make a nurse prayer shirt.
Okay.
And it was simply a little logo of a nurse icon in the front, and on the back it had a very long prayer. I don't remember the specifics of the prayer, but it was a good prayer. And that absolutely took off. That was some of the craziest things, more than anything I had ever done up to that point. And I ended up having days where I was making more than I would at my day job in weeks, and it was pretty wild experience.
So this sounds outstanding. You find this website, Teespring, right? You carved yourself out a little niche to sell, and you're like, okay, I'll sell to nurses, which I assume made things much easier.
Yeah.
You just upload your artwork. They hosted the website for you.
Yep.
And then you went to like Facebook, created an ad, and just targeted nurses. You're like, show this ad to people who are, and then you can just select their occupation, I assume. And it's just like nurses.
Yeah.
Boom. And then you just, boom, profits. That was huge.
Yeah.
Zero work. And then, things got a little bit different over time, I know, but we'll get to that later.
Yep.
So you said you started making some serious money finally. And did you quit your day job at that point, or were you still working the 9-to-5?
No, I did not quit my day job at that time. Even with, like I said, making more money than I was at my day job, that sense of security and that thing that you built your whole life.
Yeah.
I was working for the company that I wanted to work for when I was a little kid, right?
Yeah, the big town or small town,
big company.
Big company, like everybody wants to work there.
Yeah, and I had family that worked there. My dad worked there, everything. And so you have this job that you were finally chasing, and you finally have it.
Yeah.
And you're selling T-shirts online, and it's kind of seems surreal at the moment, right?
Yeah, and you're like, will this last forever? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly.
But,
and to a point, like I still had a hobby, right? And I needed to make it into a business. So the good news is I was making a lot of money. The bad news is I was taking away a lot of time away from my wife. At the moment, we were talking about girlfriend, ended up marrying her. Hey,
nice.
Success for me.
Congrats. I already knew, but congrats again.
So we got, little to no time with each other.
Yeah,
I'm basically coming home, saying hi, eating dinner, going back to work.
Yeah, going into your little nook, because you got the day job, and then afterwards you're like, you got the other business, no time for the wife.
Yeah, I mean, Cardinals are going to the World Series around these times. I'm saying no to going and see stuff. I had priorities, but the problem was I was still so split. It wasn't ideal. So good news is my wife love her to death. Don't know where I'd be without her. She challenged me. She said, hey, if you can do this isn't working, by the way. Like, you can't do these both, right? We have to figure this out.
No time for her. She's getting like lonely or she wants to see her husband.
Yeah, and she loves that I'm doing what it. So she said, turn it into a 6-month consistent profit, basically creating a business within that 6-month period. And I got your back, and we can do this thing. And she was backing me to quit my day job.
So she said, if you can make consistent income for 6 months, then basically she was giving you permission. Permission. Once you guys get married, you'll realize you need permission to do things. I'm recently married.
Yeah. Well, we do things as a partner, right? As a partnership, and you make big moves
whatever you
that
want
put
to
a lot of risk on. Yeah, that's a lot of people watching this, I know, have that same position. And it's a big ask for me to go and say, hey, I want to quit my job to pursue T-shirt selling business, right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty big ask going out, quitting your job and all that. So I don't think we can fault Amanda for that. Yeah. But, I mean, so you had Amanda by your side along the way, and you met her, I assume, like around the time you got started. Is it important, or was it important to you to have her supporting you in all of this?
Absolutely. I don't know where I'd be without Amanda's support. Probably back in my parents' basement still, or maybe not even out of college. But I mean, it's a hard path. And to do it alone, you certainly could. But for me, I needed that support for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. With me, I'd been doing this journey. I didn't have someone there to support me when I got started. Luckily, like, I had my grandmother. But I think it's important for everyone watching to understand, like, support doesn't necessarily just come from like a significant other. Yep. It can come from a community, from a mentor, from a family member, and things like that. So if you don't have like a significant other, you don't worry. I mean, there's places out there, maybe like with Matt and I, where you could find support, right? So you had Amanda supporting you. You had 6 months. What happened? I think, we kind of spilled the beans earlier saying you had a $20 million business, but let's pretend you guys didn't hear that part earlier.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did you make it?
I did, man. I finally made it, hit the 6-month mark, and quit my job.
How much? I think I saw the post, and I actually bought the same course that Matt bought, just so everyone knows. It's essentially how we met. We both got into this industry thanks to a single person.
Yep.
But how much did you make by the time you quit your job? I think I remember the post. It was like a 5-figure month or something, and you were like, I finally put in my 2 weeks.
Yeah, the final month was a 5-figure profit month.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I had a great job. I was making very good money, but I was definitely making more money, significantly more money. I forget the exact figure, but I was making significantly more money on my own than I was here, and that was the sign for sure.
Dude, that is amazing. Yeah. I need to know. The viewers, we all need to know, how was the feeling when you finally walked up to your boss and you did, I don't know, maybe you did some grand gesture where you slapped papers on their desk that was like, screw you, I quit. I'm sure it was just like...
No, peaceful terms, yeah.
But it was peaceful terms. Yeah. It's right. He has family working there. But how was it? How did it feel like finally letting go? You're your own boss. You get to live life on your own terms, giving them that 2-week notice.
Yeah, I actually think about it all the time, man. It's one of the craziest feelings there is. It's exhilarating, it's scary, and it's basically every emotion just kind of balled up into one. But at the same time, it's relaxing, right? It's like a huge weight.
Yeah.
Like somebody took a weight vest and just, took it off my shoulders. And I knew at that moment, my life was now in my hands, and I had the work that needed to be done in front of me, and just set myself on course.
Yeah, I imagine it was just like a great feeling because, you'd been working at this for years. You had your ups and downs. Getting slapped by Google for promoting Google's own products, tried a Facebook agency, that was a nightmare. And you're doing all this while, juggling a relationship with the woman of your dreams, so you somehow convinced her to marry you. As well as, going through all these businesses, you finally get one going. It's like, man, this is tough, but I did it. Like, I made it. And then it is like a huge weight off. You're like, no matter what. There was like a huge point for me when I was like, no matter what happens, I know that this is the right choice. I feel so much better right now. And that's just massive. And now you can do, like, I assume whatever you want, right? At this point, because this was before you had the kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was it? Did you guys do like some vacations, anything crazy?
Well, that's actually where we found our love of Mexico. We were going down there a couple of times, Jamaica a couple of times. We did the vacation thing pretty well. Europe for a little bit. It was great, man. It was... the flexibility of having that was pretty amazing, right? To be able to do what you wanted to, and it's not all sunshines and rainbows, but yeah.
And you don't have to count your vacation days anymore. You don't have to like beg for time off. You got your own time. You make your own time. You make your own plans. You live your own life, right? You can spend it with your wife, your family, your friends, do whatever you want. Yeah, that's awesome, and I love it. That is so huge. I just want to like point out, for me, I haven't been at a 9 to 5. You know, I'm 30 years old. I haven't done the 9 to 5 since I was like 18. The last job I had, I was a Jimmy John's delivery driver. That's where the podcast name comes from delivery driver to CEO. What up? But I really, even if my like employer came back to me and was like, I will pay you 5 times more than you're making in your company right now to come back and work for us. First of all, I'd be like, why is Jimmy John's paying so much? Like the job crisis must have gotten extremely bad, right? Like, did Biden mess up again? I mean, like, what happened here? But no, let's pretend that I work somewhere, you know, like in an executive position or something, and they offered me 5 times as much. I would still say no, because like the 9 to 5, it's not worth it, man. First of all, like it's never just 9 to 5, right? Because you got to drive to work, and we all know what time is it when you drive to work? It's rush hour, right? So you get 30 minutes, an hour in traffic, just sitting there. You're like, oh God, is this really how I have to start every day of my life? Well, not every day, but 5 days a week. I get up, just do the same old thing, sit in traffic. It's mind numbing. And dude, like I used to have to do that. I have to drive to Tampa, and it would take me like 40 minutes every morning. And like I was still my own boss, and I hated it. I was like, dude, why am I doing this? Why am I driving 30, 40 minutes to my office every morning? Luckily, I had audiobooks, you know, but if I didn't have that, I would have probably ripped my hair out. And then it was crazy. Like I'm scared I'm gonna get in a car accident, and like all these different things. So it's not just, you know, like 9 to 5. It's like 8 to 6 minimum, because you got the drive, right?
I used to say 6 to 7.
6 to 7. Yeah. I think there's even like a song or something like that, but that doesn't matter. And then more importantly than that, though, not only is it just not a 9 to 5, but when you work at a job, and this is what I've come to find, and what I discovered was like, I have 2 options in life. If I have a job, then by working, then I'm working to give someone else their dream lifestyle. You know, the one that I want, the one that we all intrinsically want, the option to be free, to do what we want, to see the world, to have whatever we want in life, right?
Right.
But if I have a job, I'm not unlocking that for myself. I'm unlocking it for somebody else. And that is something like, I mean, it's nice to be able to help someone else do that, but I want it for myself, man.
Right.
You know, so the only other option was option B, which is go into being an entrepreneur, right? And then I can actually build my dream life. I can do the same amount of work if I want, right? Like I can work from, what'd you say, 7 to 6?
6 to 7, yeah.
I could do the 6 to 7, or I could do the 9 to 5, but I'm doing it for myself. And the amount of satisfaction that you get from doing that versus unlocking someone else's dream, like, dude, it makes it not work anymore.
Right.
Because you know that you're unlocking this life for yourself, for your family, for your kids if you have them. You know, like for me early on, a big driver was like cars and all that cool stuff. And I got some cool cars along the way, and that was a lot of fun. Now that doesn't do it as much for me. Now it's like about my family and stuff.
Yep.
I'm settling down. I'm in my 30s now. I'm old. But dude, it's just huge, right? And then on top of, you know, like being stuck working for someone else's dream, if you have a job, like helping them reach their dream, like the worst part about having to go to the job is that you have to work 8 hours straight. And dude, if you like... bosses, there's like a whole subreddit right now, which is like anti-work subreddit or something, I don't know. But it's like text messages of people from their boss that's saying like, hey, I saw you checking your phone. If you do that again, you're fired. It's like you have to work 8 hours straight, making someone else rich. And if you do not work 8 hours straight and you're not super productive all 8 hours, you're fired.
Right.
So it's like not only does it take up all your day, but you have to be busy all day long so you don't get fired. And then, you know, like we had mentioned a little bit in your story there, if you want to take a vacation or something like that, when you have a job, you got to get approval and you have to have vacation days. Right. And if you don't, then you're missing out on money. And I mean, like, dude, none of that is good. And you're always like in fear of getting fired. Yep. You're worried about not getting your promotion or something like that. You're scared you're going to be stuck here forever. You want to impress people, but you're like so tired of putting on this fake face all the time. Like, dude, that's why it's, thank you for listening, guys. That's why I just, sorry, you reminded me of all this. I could never go back to that job. Even if they offered me 5 times much, the freedom to be your own boss, to do whatever you want, to live life on your own terms, to just fucking, you know, enjoy your life, build something that serves you instead of serving someone else your entire life to help them live their dream life. Like, no, thank you. I like the entrepreneurial journey more. I like everything you've done more, even though you had those peaks and valleys and it was tough.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it pays off. It's so much better than the alternative, which is working for someone else your whole life, maybe retiring when you're older, and then all the bosses you worked for, maybe they achieve everything they ever wanted. Sorry for that little tangent, but...
It's a good tangent, though, man. Well, everybody can relate.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I'll take a bow. Take a bow. Both cameras. I'll bow to you all. So... you quit your job, 6 months of consistent income. You finally quit your job. Was it all like sunshine and rainbows at this point? What happened? I mean, you got the 6 months of consistent income, quit your job. What happened?
I mean, I wish it was all sunshine and rainbows, right? No, but I fell victim to one of the most common things that entrepreneurs, especially new entrepreneurs, fall victim to, and that's lack of focus, man. I spread myself really, really thin. I had this one project that made me all this money, and I got out and I'm like, I have all this free time.
Why don't I make 10 more?
Why don't I do 10 more? And that's literally what I did. So I had this one store, and I got myself up to 10 stores. And so you can't do that, especially when you don't have any, like, you don't have like a monster amount of staff and things like that, right? Yeah. So I just had fire after fire. I just had, I'm juggling, and I'm very skin deep on all these projects, right? Yeah. And once again, this feeling that I left, and that I thought I had taken the weight vest off, right? Weight vest is back on.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out. Got zero time. I'm checking my phone and all these inappropriate times, and I'm just spread too thin, man. And it's back to where I was.
Yeah. I mean, here's something people need to understand. Like, it's called bandwidth, right? So you found one successful store, and you're like. And this is what a lot of beginners do, because they think like, well, if I can get this one successful, instead of going deep into that and like, trying to make it a huge multi-million-dollar business, they're like, oh, just make a bunch of these. And I see people talking about that all the time. I'm like, oh my God, man. You're going to screw yourself over. Because what you guys have to understand is you have bandwidth, just like a router might have bandwidth, right? So if like 20 people connect to one internet connection, it's going to slow down because there's only, you have a limited amount of Wi-Fi and everybody's siphoning it. It's going to be slow for everyone. It's the same thing in your business or in whatever you do, really. So if you have like 10 different businesses and you're trying to juggle a relationship, the amount of effort you can put into each one is just like, it's so small. So every single thing you do, like you said, you were only going skin deep.
Yep.
So I'm sure your income, like you had that main store, right, that was making good money. I'm sure your income dropped on that because you're trying to spread everything else so thin, and you're not even putting focus on that. So, I mean, now you can't even see your family, and that was like one of your big goals. How was that? How did that make you feel?
It makes you feel like a failure, man. I mean, my wife, I'm like, I got to go back to her and be like, hey, I didn't make any money, or like, hey, actually, we lost a little bit of money. And
she trusted you.
No, right. And you have that sense of like, you just took this leap. By the way, nobody believes you at first, right?
Yes.
So you made basically in everybody's mind, you made the stupidest choice possible. And now you're kind of validating that, and not only in their mind, but also in your mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I felt horrible.
Were you thinking like, maybe I need to get a job or anything like that? Or
absolutely. I was one step out the door, man. I was back and thinking, is AP going to take me back? Or, would any place ever hire me again? And yeah, dude, it was not a great feeling.
So how did you end up recovering? How did you get things back on track?
Focus, we just kind of said it, like a lack of focus got me to that point. And I kind of had that realization of, dude, I just need to hammer back down and get back to my roots, right? What made me the money in the first place needed to be what makes me money again. So 9 out of the 10 stores got closed. And
the axe, whoosh,
man.
And you just went back to the original one, or?
Yeah, went back to the original one, focused on it, and then realized that even that was very convoluted and lack of focus, and basically took the vast majority of my products and carved them all out. And
you're still selling T-shirts, so you like got rid of most of the T-shirts on your store at this time?
I was selling a lot of stuff at that time because the industry was evolving around me, right? It wasn't just T-shirts anymore. When I started, it was just T-shirts, and then they got hoodies, then they got tank tops, then they started getting into hats and drinkware and all this other stuff. So I was like, oh, new products, just throw new products, and just try it, and maybe it'll work. And had no plan, and because again, skin deep, shiny object syndrome. Yeah. So I took basically anything that didn't make any money and carved it out.
And by carve it out, you mean just like removed it from your store?
Delete. Okay. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing what can happen, man. Because your focus, or my focus, took a basically dying store
Yeah.
And then we went quickly back to the 6-figure months. And we were growing. It was rapid because the customer was focused when they came into my store, and I was focused, and I could give the customer more what they wanted. And, I felt like a success again because, again, quickly I realized a very common mistake. Now that I'm a little bit more years ahead of this, it's a very common mistake. At the time, it felt overwhelming. And now I'm back to that success feeling. And I realized that basically, any area of life, like health and business and anything, you need focus, right?
Yes.
You need to be hammered in. You need to say, this is it. This is what I'm spending my time on. Everything, every ounce of my resources, everything I can leverage all goes to this because I know the dream that I want to get to, and that's what I'm working towards. And all the other stuff is a little bit of distraction. You just have to be patient along the way in order to get there.
Yeah, and I think something like two quick sayings that I kind of was thinking of when you were talking is, less is more, right?
Yes.
So you got
100%.
rid of a bunch of shit, less is more, and then quality over quantity.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Just because you throw a bunch of stuff up on your store, it's like, well, nobody cares about this, so it's not doing anything, and it's giving them, some people may have heard of it, like the paradox of choice, where when people have too many choices, they choose nothing at all because they're overwhelmed. So you just kept it to the best products, like let's say, you said it was still the same store, so maybe like nurse things at this point.
Yep.
So you got the best nurse things, get rid of all the fluff, boom, focus on the good ones where you originally started, double down on that, and you started making some good money. Yep. And I guess I just want to repeat what Matt was saying though. What got him there was focus.
Yep.
Okay. And this is just so important. If you want to build an online business, especially like a passive income business, you need focus, because if you are too busy trying to like chase things down and do this, that, and do all these new things all the time, it's never going to be passive because you're always going to be chasing something. So if you can get focus on something that works, double down on it and really invest and leverage the tools, the trainings, mentors, whatever it is that you have, focus on that one thing, you can build it to a point where it's completely passive. So to reach success, guys, to build a successful business, you need to keep focus and use the leverage the things at your disposal. And like Matt said, be patient because nothing happens overnight. So it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. So Matt, what happened to that business of yours?
A couple of years later, after consistent growth and getting to levels I really didn't think I was going to get to, man, you kind of have the idea, but then and you stretch targets and the dreams and everything, but then reality was setting in. I'm like, man, this is going like crazy. Ended up selling it, man. Because along the way, my family was growing, right? Had my second daughter now, and so my family was growing. And
I think we skipped some parts of the story along the way there, but during like that store's growth, you ended up having a daughter. Yeah. Like in 2020, I believe.
Yes.
Was she born in 2020? No, she was born in 2019. Yeah, okay. She was born in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, along the way, got married, obviously. I don't know if we talked about that, but got married.
You mentioned that. Yeah, somehow you would
there's a long gap here.
Convinced a woman to marry, yes.
Yes, yeah. So there's a long gap in here. And, we got married, and a handful of years later, while the business is growing, we decided to start having a family. And you quickly realize that your priority is not, it's not money, right? Which is counterintuitive to a lot of people. But understanding that my family is first, money will inherently come with that because I'll do whatever I need to do for my family, right? But, my focus was spending time with my now growing family.
So freedom. And money kind of unlocks that, though. So you got to get a little bit of the money first, at least.
Yeah, and the business was amazing, right? And so everybody's wondering, why would I ever sell a business that's generating that much money? Well,
and just so we know, I mean, how much in 2020? How much revenue did that business generate?
Just shy of in a calendar year, it did 20, but just shy of 20, and the year sold it.
So I think it was like 18 million, and we can put that up on the screen. I'll have Austin do it. We can't afford a Jamie, but we have an Austin using the background on the computer, just listening. So we'll have him put it on the screen. So your business did $18 million in 2020. We're talking about this small little T-shirt company,
right?
And 18 million, and then it was because you wanted to spend time with your family.
Yes, and I realized that this business was going to either take years of restructuring and a lot of my time, or I could sell it if there's a right offer. So I kind of played around with offers and found a really good one. So I wanted to make the move when it was the best time possible. And then I was confident in my skills at this point. I knew I could create something that put my family first, a family-focused type business that allowed me to, close my computer and go pick up my daughter at 5 o'clock and do the thing and spend time with my wife and go on dates, date my wife again, kind of thing. And that kind of family-centric mission was most important for me going forward.
Yeah. So you sold the business, the $18 million, 2020, absolutely insane, by the way. Congratulations.
Yeah,
nice job on that. And the reason you ended up selling it was because you wanted to essentially create a new business model from scratch, right? That would require less time and less like investment from you, so you could spend time with your family.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. And that, I guess, is what we're here to talk about. No, but that's a
big lead in, but
yeah, that's what we started earlier on, and that is the I Heart You eCom business model. So this basically was a labor of almost like love. It's funny that it's called the I Heart You eCom business model, but you had this successful business. It was taking up too much of your time. The money was good, but you already had money, and you were able to sell that and make a nice multi-million-dollar payday selling that. But now you wanted something that could still maybe make you millions or at least hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit per year, but allow you to have a lot of free time. So you created this, and you're calling it the I Heart You eCom business model. I'm familiar with it because I've been working with you in a while, but
it's an amazing model. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what you can do if you structure it the right way.
Yeah, I agree. And I obviously know it is, like I said, but Matt, can you share with our readers? Let's drop the bomb. I know you guys have been waiting for this since the very beginning of this podcast. Matt, what is the I Heart You eCom model, and how does it work?
Well, I mean, this model is basically the best way, or one of the best ways. I think it's the best way for anybody to start an online business today. Right? It doesn't require a whole lot of skills. It doesn't require a whole lot of time. And it doesn't require any inventory because it is a print-on-demand model as well, like we talked about earlier.
I think something important for everyone to know, too, is like you and I, we spend a lot of time selling on Shopify, which has like monthly fees. It has apps and things like that. With this, like the startup, this is the lowest startup cost, right? Like there's no monthly fees. There's nothing like that. Barely any money required up front at all.
And considering the potential, it's pretty unreal to be in this scenario. So a lot of times when you say stuff like this, people were like, oh, maybe it's drop shipping from China or something like that. No, we're selling high quality stuff, shipped from the USA, and with an amazing above 50% profit margin across the board. And that's not it, man. I mean, it's in a field with a massive potential, right? It's selling jewelry online. That's right. Selling jewelry online. Just making sure everybody's on the same page because I'm like, what? They're like, yes, I've gone from t-shirts to selling jewelry online. But bear with me because it is an immense market, right? Yeah. And the cool thing is it's growing. It's $21 billion at the time of this video. It's projected to get to 60 and above in just 5 years.
That's 60 billion with
60
a
billion.
B. With a B.
With a B. And it's got, like I said, an amazing profit margin, right? Which is great. And everybody's talking about, Facebook ad costs might be rising up a little bit. Well, great. Well, guess what? If you sell something with an amazing profit margin, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, because you keep almost all the money that you make.
Exactly. And it's an evergreen product. And if you don't know what that means, it means you can sell it year round. And when you mention jewelry to people, people think, oh, that's great for Valentine's Day, or that's great for Mother's Day, or that's great for Christmas. Well, not necessarily. Oh, definitely those days.
Those, yes.
Definitely those days. But not necessarily only those. Because, I mean, for example, there's over 20 million birthdays every single month in the United States. Most people don't understand that. And if you just said, oh, I'm just going to target women, maybe you had a store geared towards women. It's 10 to 15 million people that you could target just for birthdays.
And jewelries, though, it can also be like watches and things like that, too. Watches. So you get men as well. But that's a little more advanced. We're not going to talk too much about that today.
There's a lot of potential for both sides. But the main point is year-round, great profit margins in a exploding industry.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have any inventory.
Yeah.
And that's what really blows most people's mind. Remember the doubt that I was talking about with people having with me in t-shirts? The same thing now. You could have jewelry with a jewelry store hosted on someone else's website.
Yep.
With no tech skills of your own.
Yeah, they're building the website for you, right?
Exactly. You drive traffic to it, make a sale, and they ship it out and they handle everything.
Yep. So all you have to do is drive the traffic. You don't have to worry about shipping products or anything like that, right?
Yeah, it's no upfront costs because you get paid after someone actually buys from you.
Okay, so just so I'm straight, like someone buys from you, right, and you get the money, like a certain percentage of it goes to the company that ships it, and then the rest goes to you. So you're not really ever paying for anything. You just get a cut of each sale, essentially, and then you drive traffic.
Yep.
And then it's all shipped outside the U.S., like you said, nothing like that. So there's no upfront cost, no tech skills, nothing required. Really, all you have to do is figure out how to drive all the traffic, and then maybe, like with the jewelry. And then people are probably thinking, like, right now, okay, that sounds great, but I don't know how to sell jewelry. I don't know how to design jewelry. Like, I'm not a jewelry manufacturer. Jewelry design, that's crazy. Like, how am I ever going to do that? So, I mean, like, how can I make these products unique? How can I find unique products to sell?
Right.
So how does that work?
Yeah, well, it's a great question because that's the most common question, right? I don't know how to design jewelry. We're not talking about designing jewelry. We're actually talking about designing a little message card that the jewelry lays on top of.
Okay.
I'd actually have a example for us we can pull up in a second. But think of it the same way. If you're familiar with a T-shirt, you print a design on the T-shirt, and that's what your job is. You're not actually designing T-shirts every time that you sell them, right? You're just designing the art that goes on top of it.
Yeah,
same kind of concept.
I don't know if people can see it right there, but you've got the little First Form logo on your shirt. So it's like that, but your actual messages, not just logos, right?
Yeah, and it's actually where the I Heart You business model name comes from because we're designing these intimate message cards. So let me pull this up here real quick. It's on the screen.
Got it pulled up on my screen too, so I'll be looking at it.
Yeah, so you can see here the nice piece of jewelry that we have. I'll center it right here, so circle it for you.
And they don't have to design that, right? Like,
no.
It just comes with, you do the card, and then the jewelry comes with it, essentially.
Yeah, so you basically get to design this card. You want to figure out who to sell to. Obviously, we talk more about that. But basically, you're picking a piece of jewelry to go on top of the message that you created.
And they just have like jewelry you can pre-select or something.
Yeah, all of which is validated by them as very on-demand, like very high-demand jewelry. It's all tested and things like that. And what your job is to do is basically figure out these "I love you" messages, and so that you can connect with somebody via the ads and the ways that you drive traffic.
So I guess really quickly we can read this. Do you have the jewelry card pulled up on your screen?
Yeah.
So it says, "To my soulmate,
yeah,
you are my heart, my soul, my treasure, my today, my tomorrow, my forever, and my everything. I love you forever and always." So what I'm getting from this, like what I feel from this, is like almost reading a Hallmark card, right?
Exactly.
So essentially what people are doing is they're writing little Hallmark type card messages, and they just upload them to this website, and they make money.
Yeah.
And then you can charge a lot more because of the jewelry. I think that's probably where like a lot of people get confused, is they think like, okay, well, am I selling jewelry? Am I selling message cards? I mean, like, what's happening? So what they're doing, I guess, at least is what I'm picking up from you, is they're designing these message cards, and that is what makes the product sell. And then the jewelry is like there to justify the price, because how much are you selling these for?
Most of them go for about $50.
So $50, right?
Yeah.
So, you can't charge $50 for a Hallmark card. Nobody would pay that much.
Yeah, right.
So you write the message. I mean, maybe you even go to like Target or something like that. Yeah, you just like read messages, put them on a card, and then you sell them, right?
Yeah.
I guess we're going to get to that, I assume.
Yeah, a little bit different than that, but yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then the jewelry just justifies the price. That's amazing.
Yep.
So just to reiterate real quick, guys, the whole process, I took some notes here. The whole process for this I Heart You system, it's extremely simple, Matt, according to you, the easiest way to get started online. And I just so happen to agree with him because I've seen the student results. I've seen people like Tiffany go from $0 in sales to $30,000 per day in just a few months. But just to go through the whole process again, really quick, guys, the whole business model is 3 steps. Very simple. Read my notes here. You create the simple love and appreciation message cards like the one that we just looked at on your screen.
Yep.
Very simple, just a few lines of text. Anybody can come up with those if they spend like 10 minutes trying. And Matt's going to give you a few ways to find these message card designs as well. You upload them to the website of a company that does all the printing, manufacturing, payment process. They do the shipping. They do that all for you. They even build your website for you.
Yep.
All you do is upload this message card design that you made.
Yep.
Right? Okay. And I think Matt even has a really cool way to help you guys make message card designs. So you guys have to do zero work all together, which is absolutely insane. That's going to be really cool. I can't wait to share that.
Yep.
And then what you do is you just put these new, unique products in front of relevant people, which is way easier than it seems.
Yes. Yeah, that's it, man.
Okay. 3 steps. And don't worry, guys, if you feel like a little lost or confused, this podcast is going to keep going.
Yep.
We're going to cover this a little bit more in depth so you can see exactly how to do this and how you can start profiting with it as well, and you can live, your life of freedom. So, Matt, just to reiterate, you just create these simple messages and the company takes over from there. They do the rest for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? What's the name of the company? I know what it is because I'm based in the same city, but I think it's time to drop the name for all of our viewers and listeners here.
Yeah, and it's called Shine On. They're a U.S.-based company, actually not very far from where we are right now.
5 miles down the road.
So we did all the vetting and firsthand information with them, and a great company to work with.
We did go to the factory. Austin, maybe you can put that up on the screen real quick. You guys can see. We actually went there when Matt was searching for his business model. Something, this is a little irrelevant, but something that's really important to Matt and myself is that when we get into something we don't want to feel grimy or scammy or anything about our businesses. So whenever we look for a business model or a supplier, even with the t-shirts, you wanted someone who delivered quick and provided amazing experience for your customers.
Right.
It's the same way. If we sell jewelry, we sell message cards, we want someone who's going to ship quickly, who's going to package it nicely, who's going to have high quality products. So your customers, or you guys, when you start this business model, your customers will be happy and they'll come back and buy more from you, and you can just make tons of money, right?
Yep.
So I think that was really important to us, and you guys should have seen it on the screen there. But they're good friends and partners of ours as well because of this. Since we before we got into the business model, before Matt got into it, we wanted to go there, check them out, make sure these guys were legit.
Yep.
We actually ended up becoming friends with them. It's a really great operation, and they're empowering people all around the world to make millions of dollars, including ourselves and hopefully our viewers here as well. And that's amazing. You have a product people want, message cards. People want to express their love, right? Everyone always is looking for the perfect Valentine's Day gift, Christmas gift, birthday gift, graduation gift, Mother's Day gift, even Father's Day gift, right?
Yep.
You've got these products that people want. They're obviously in demand all year round. They're unique. They have a great profit margin. You're keeping 80% of each sale, I think. And that's awesome. And like you said, you sell the jewelry for $50. I think some of our students or your students here, I saw selling them for $59.99.
Yeah.
And I think the cost, what you pay to, well, you're not really paying for the product. I don't want to sound misleading, but Shine On's cut. So let's say you sell it for $60, right? And Shine On takes $14. So people are keeping the other $46. So you're making $46 from each sale, right?
Yep.
And so tell me a little bit more. Shine On, do they have a suggested price? I mean, how does that work? I think we went over a little bit, but
yeah. So yeah, for sure, you set the retail price, but they do. One of the things I love about Shine On is they build a lot of data, and they use that data to help individual sellers.
Yeah, because like you said, they are, before they ever upload jewelry onto their platform, they're testing it to make sure what works and how to make the most money. Yeah. So are they testing which price points work best and things like that?
Yes. So they'll tell you anywhere from 40 to 60 because some people want to be on the lower end, some people want to be on the higher end. The good thing is they have little add-ons too that help you make equal amounts of money, like a nice box or things like that.
It's like an upsell. So
upsells.
When you go to McDonald's and they're like, do you want fries with that?
Do you want fries with that? Yeah.
Essentially. So they're doing the same thing. They give you, what'd you say, a fancier box?
Like a wood box with a light in it, which is super fancy.
And how much do they upsell that for? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, I think it's $10 and it costs you $2.
So that's just an extra $8 profit every sale, essentially. That's awesome.
Stacks up over time. Doesn't sound like a lot at first. It stacks up a lot over time. And that's the cool thing too, is you get all of these, you get the original product, you get a couple things added on. And then after you make the sale, so your customer might pick, say, the wood box and this product, you make, whatever the difference is. So if it costs $10 to $20 and you got $80 from the customer because of the upsells,
and you're keeping $70 or $60.
For the most part, it's always over 50% profit margin, which in the on-demand space, I've been doing this a very long time.
Well, I think not just the
on-demand space.
Because most businesses are 10, 15%. Even if you have something massive like a McDonald's, they're making 5, 10% profit margins, right? You do print on demand with the shirts, you were making what? How much?
About 30%, yeah.
So 30% margins on that. And with this, not only has it freed up your time, but even if you made less money, you're still making almost the equal amount because your profit margins are higher.
Yep.
So you've uncovered a business that gives you more time with your family and more profit for every sale.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty great, right? I mean, it sounds a little crazy, right? But it works very well.
All right, so you're saying it sounds a little crazy. I'm not going to say I disagree with you, but why don't we just show everyone instead of talking about it so they can see just how well this business model actually works?
Okay, yeah. Well, let me pull that up. All right. So you should be able to see my screen now.
And just to be clear, what are we looking at?
This is the Shopify Dashboard, right? So Shopify is where I host my companies. It hosts, does all the nitty-gritty stuff for us.
Basically hosts your website.
Yeah, hosts the websites, does all the fancy stuff for us, and gives us these great tools to see how things are going, right? So what we're looking at right now is sales as of 12/42 in the day, right? So you can see we got $8,183 in sales. It's pretty good to say that right before noon.
Yeah,
or right afternoon. Just afternoon.
And we've been sitting here doing this for like 50, 60 minutes. So the sales, boom, still coming in. You're not even working on this, just making money. You've already made $8,000 today.
Did about 15 minutes of work this morning, and here's where we are. So, it's a Monday, always kind of a slow day. So let's check out yesterday. So you can see the date too, right? We're right out before Christmas, and we're still raking in these sales. So, so yesterday we got $28,802 in sales.
It's absolutely massive, dude.
Yeah,
insane.
Again,
and like yesterday, let's paint a picture. We'll put it up on the screen. Last night we were at a Bucks game.
Yep.
Okay, so put that up on the screen. You guys can see that really quick. And then during the day, you were traveling all day.
Yeah.
What time did you leave St. Louis to come here?
I left my house about 10 o'clock in the morning.
So you left at 10 o'clock in the morning,
and
you did not get on your laptop all day. I was there. I can confirm. Well, I wasn't there on the laptop. I wasn't there on the plane. I have no idea what he did on the plane.
Yeah.
But I can confirm that the rest of the day, because I picked him up from the airport. We went to the Bucks game. We got dinner. You were out drinking, having a good time. He got a little drunk at the Bucks game, but it's okay. He's on vacation for the day. And how much revenue did you generate that day while you were traveling all day long?
Just shy of $29,000.
That's outstanding. Dude.
Yeah.
What about the month? Can we show everybody the results of the month?
So again, this is the funny part is we're on the downswing, right? Because we can't make that Christmas delivery. Still doing very, very well because we do it right. We still give people a reason to buy. But let's do the last 30 days. And you can see we just crossed over. We got 1,524,000. I don't even know how to say it. It's $1 million.
What? No, you were saying it right. 1,524,000. Is that what it was?
No. $1,005,247. It's a lot of zeros. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's just over $1 million. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, dude,
in the last 30 days.
And this is, I want people to understand like how your last 30 days have been. How have you spent the last 30 days? You weren't slaving away every day. I know for a fact that you weren't online a whole lot because you just had a newborn daughter.
Yeah.
So, how much do you think you worked total like in the past 30 days to generate these kinds of results?
I don't put a timestamp on it, but it's definitely not like a 40-hour-a-week job. It's definitely not 60 hours like I used to work at my old corporate job.
Yeah.
Like you said, literally a month ago from yesterday, my daughter was born. Or a couple days ago before, So it's a little over a month. I'm in that newborn stage. I don't sleep a whole lot. Still getting in a little bit of time to work on this, and it's generating over $1 million in revenue.
Dude, that is absolutely outstanding. Amazing money. I think we can all agree, and we already know the profit margins are huge. We covered that for everyone. But I think that everybody, and maybe I don't know, I speak for everyone on call. Maybe they want to look at your income dashboard all day, but I think that we want to get back to these message cards so our listeners can figure out how to do this on their own. I think they want to see, I'm taking a lot of assumptions here, but how easy it is to create these message cards. Do they need design skills, and how do they come up with the messages? Because it's not like, you're not coming up with these messages for your cards out of thin air, right? Like, you've got a system for them, so let's go over it.
Sure. So let's actually talk about messages first, right? Because this is probably one of the most common areas people screw up. And they try to create something from scratch.
So essentially, like, they're trying to come up with message ideas on their own, like just sitting there thinking, like, have a pen, thinking they're a poet or something like that.
Yeah. One of the worst things you can do is say, I think this sounds good, and then try that, right? Without any kind of validation after that, or before that, I should say.
So I can kind of see where you're heading with this. Like, you want to get message cards that you already know people are responding to, like messages for your cards that you already know will work.
Yeah, there's a story actually from Sony Walkman. back in the 90s.
God, you're really aging yourself now.
I was alive in the 90s. I'm sorry.
That's even before my time.
Yeah. So, but these are good history lessons, right, in business. So for those of you that don't know, there used to be this thing called a Walkman. And it was super popular at one time before the iPhone, before the iPod. I said iPod the other day, which was like weird.
CD players. This was cassette tapes, right?
Cassette tapes, and it looked like a brick that you carried around in your belt. So everything about it was black. The whole thing was just like a black brick that was carrying around, right? But Sony had this idea that's like, hey, let's make a yellow version, right? Something that stands out, something that might be unique. Because Sony had a couple of competitors come along at this time. Yeah. So they did a good business thing, right? They did a market research. They got a bunch of people in a room and said, here's a yellow one, here's a black one, our best-selling one. Everyone at the time, maybe not now, but everyone at the time was very familiar with the black one. And they said, would you buy the yellow one?
Over the black one.
Over the black one.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're familiar. So the over the black one. And everybody said, yeah, absolutely. The yellow one's great. It's new. It's unique. So Sony did a little bit of further validation, right? They didn't just take people at their word. They said, on your way out, you can pick one of these, right? You can get one for free.
I feel like I know where this is heading.
Yeah. So every single one of them took the popular black one.
So they said, yeah, we want the yellow one. And then as they're leaving, literally, I assume they just had like 2 boxes or something. Like, you can take the yellow one or you can take the black one. And everybody took the black one, even though they said they take the yellow one.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is that saying things is one thing. We can equate this to maybe likes on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
But who's buying? Who's putting their money where their mouth is? And who is actually taking something and calling it their own? That's a whole different story.
Yeah. So you're saying then it's not about what people are saying that they like or what you think people like, but what are people actually buying?
Right.
And then if we translate that into message cards, I guess, so like your goal is to find out which message cards people are actually buying right now.
Yep.
Not just ones that are like going viral on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or like on Reddit or whatever, or like whatever. You just want real data. Which of these are people buying right now?
Yeah. I mean, I like calling it down to social proof or sales proof, right? Social proof is great, but that sales proof is really where the money can be made. Okay. And that's where I want to steer people towards is look for where there is sales proof. So easiest way to do that is go to where people are already buying, because you're not reinventing the wheel here or I'm sorry. You're not creating the wheel here. You're going to do a little bit of reinvention. So
yeah, because people are already out there doing this.
Yeah.
So you want to capitalize on what they're doing and maybe make it a little better.
Yeah. And you can quickly become unique. So go to places people are buying. Amazon, Etsy, Hallmark, Pinterest, and lead it to a site that, those individual sites where you can see some bestsellers and stuff like that.
So you're telling me you can do it online? I don't have to go to like my local CVS or my local Target with binoculars, sitting around the corner just watching the old ladies pick out message cards.
I would actually challenge you to not do that because that sounds really bad.
That takes all the fun out. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and so you can actually, instead of anecdotal information and like, oh, would you buy this? And someone goes, oh yeah, I would buy that. No, you actually have, the easiest way is if a product on Amazon has 1,000 reviews, the math would tell you it's probably about 10,000 purchases.
Well, you can actually take it a little step further. I know this because I used to sell on Amazon, and they have this thing called bestseller rank. So you can actually see a rank. And what I would do is there was this little tool. It was called Jungle Scout, and I would enter the bestseller rank in there. And this is like a little more advanced, but if you guys like maybe Google what I'm saying, don't do it right now. Do it after the podcast. But you go look for the Amazon bestseller rank. You enter it in a Jungle Scout, and you can actually see exactly how many units a product sold. So, I mean, there's really easy ways to validate your data, right?
Yep, absolutely, and that's one of the best ways to do it. Now, the question is, what do I do with that, right? Because we're not encouraging you to just take somebody else's hard work and then try to make it your own. It's actually a really simple way. It's actually kind of like a little muscle you got to work out, right?
Yeah.
So you take this best-selling phrase.
Well, actually, I think we skipped a step here. I think that we should note too, though. Like, if you go to Amazon or something, right? How are people even like going to find the phrase, right? So you just it's really simple, right? So let's say like Mother's Day is coming up. You could just search like what Mother's Day message card. Something. I just want to make sure that the viewers know the whole process.
Always a little hard to download things into somebody's mind, but yes. So you obviously want to go to Amazon and look for these phrases,
or Etsy or whatever. Pinterest, one of those things. But so you're going to search for like Mother's Day card or something, Christmas card or graduation card or Father's Day card, Valentine's Day card.
Yeah, these are entire, like I said, these are entire industries. Jewelry is not only the piece of this, right? I mean, how big of a company is Hallmark, right? Like the message card industry, the I love you type models is out there, right? We're just making it our own.
Yeah, you could probably even go to like Hallmark and just sort by bestsellers.
Yeah,
like honestly.
Yeah, and they do the situational stuff too, which is really, really great. And if it's on the front page of Hallmark, it's probably a good thing for you to be selling and taking a look at. So that gets us to where I was at before, right?
Sorry, guys.
No, thanks, Devin. But we're gonna say, I got a little example. Let me pull it up. So if I had something that said, "To the world, you are a mom. But to our family, you are the world." Right?
So that's like a message you find on Amazon, for instance, right there. That's how it is in its original form.
That's an original form, something I would have found on Amazon, maybe on a different type of product, right? Which is a really great way to do this. So if it's on a wooden, like those wooden arts, a really good one.
That's a good point, because I always see that in like my parents' house or something. They literally have messages like that, like doormats. Like there's all kinds of things. Well, maybe not a doormat.
Doormat would be weird.
But there's like the wooden prints or the picture frames, like Christmas ornaments. Like there's all kinds of different things that have these messages on them.
Yeah, the things that are giving kind of love and appreciation messages, like what we're talking about, right? So the question is, how do I take something like that and make it my own?
And just to reiterate here, the original message was, I wrote that down. To the world, you are a mom, but to our family, you are the world.
Right, exactly. So take that message and rewrite it. This is where I was talking about having like a little muscle you work out.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult, at first, right? But you'll get used to it.
Yeah, and then I assume it's just like, it's one of those things where...
Second nature.
Yeah,
absolutely.
where it's like riding a bike. At first, you're like, and then, after you've ridden it 3 or 4 times, it's easy.
Yeah. And the best part about this is that if you do it, you are keeping the concept, but making something completely unique. We see this work for our students all the time because they end up being the people who aren't sticking with what everybody else is doing, right? Yeah. They're doing the unique route, which helps them get further faster. So my unique version of it, remember, to the world, you are a mom, but to our family, you are the world. How do we make that our own? We say, to my mom, right? A gift, right? That's what a lot of jewelry is done with. The world looks at you and sees a mom. I look at you and I see the world.
Boom. Just like that.
Exact same concept, but rewritten in a way that's unique.
Yeah. And then you don't have, now it's your own unique product and boom.
And yeah, man, it's as simple as that. But as we do, and as we've been talking about this entire time, I was looking to save a little bit more time, right? Because we're not just selling one, we're selling a bunch, right? We're scaling up. So we've created a tool that actually goes out to all these sites and finds the best sellers and puts it all into one nice, neat place for us. And that way we can find those message cards, create our unique ones, and then we can put them onto our products.
Yeah, so I assume we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, so you wanted to have all these designs right at your fingertips. Even though like going to Hallmark, going to Amazon, all that, it's not a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But you just wanted one dashboard to show you the winning products, or that's like an industry term, winning products.
Bestsellers.
To show you the best-selling products from all these sites on just like your home dashboard, so you didn't have to look around.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll talk about that more later.
Yep.
And what about like the message card itself? What about like designing the message cards?
Well, there's a couple of things you can do, right?
Yeah.
Some people are very interested in doing this themselves. I can barely draw a circle on a piece of paper.
I can't draw a circle, so I'm very jealous.
I can draw like an oval, more of an oval. But you can take some Photoshop skills and some classes, and if you have some skills, you could do it yourself if you really wanted to.
It's worth noting, though, on that it's like you have to pay for the classes. Plus, it's going to take you a long time. Like, I'm sure everybody watching wants to get to money really quickly. They don't want to spend months learning Photoshop. Plus, Photoshop is like $20 a month on top of that as well, so it costs money.
The second option is actually due to people like myself. We have hired and trained a lot of people in the industry to do this, right? So you could go out to a place like Upwork and hire somebody to create a message card for you and the design and put your nice text onto it as well.
Yes, but then you have employees, right? And you have to pay them as well.
Yep.
And sometimes, you're not so lucky and you get a really shitty worker.
Yeah, a little back and forth ends up happening, and and then you hire somebody and start from scratch.
Well, because you're trying to get other people to make your vision, and especially if you've never like hired a designer before, it's hard to express yourself and like, this is what I want, and that you're spending money for them to make that for you, and then it comes out just like not like you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. So brings us to the third option. We actually have another piece of software, right? Because we're all about efficiencies and saving time as much as we can.
Yeah, like you said, you want to spend time more with your family. Yeah. Anytime you can eliminate costs and save time.
Yeah.
So like you're not spending time learning Photoshop and taking all these courses, or even spending time making it yourself, because even if you were to make it yourself or use a tool like Canva or something, right?
Right.
It's still extremely time consuming and you don't know if it's going to work. And then if you hire someone, you have to pay them, right? So that costs a lot of money.
Yep.
And the software here, what were you saying about it?
Yeah, so it actually has a full suite of dozens of already pre-made templates, most of which, if not all of which, are very well proven right now to be very engaging. And all you have to do is create that unique phrase, put it on there, and then download the image.
So essentially what you're saying is it's got all these custom-made images. You just open it up, you paste your text into it, and boom, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you said something that was pretty interesting, which is it's pre-tested. What does that mean?
It means every single design in our software has $10,000 or more results already.
So what you're saying is every single piece of or template in this software has already made $10,000. So you're testing all these designs before they upload them to the software. So that way when a user, you watching, uses the software, they're going in with a proven design, already proven to generate money, and they can just copy and paste their phrase into it. So like instead of going out there, spending months learning Photoshop and spending monthly on Photoshop, right? Or instead of using Canva and maybe getting a good design, like they don't really know if the design's going to work, right? They can just use these proven designs that you've tested, that we've tested. They've already generated at least $10,000, and some of them have generated six figures, and they don't have to pay monthly for design or anything like that. That's the gist of it, right?
That's right.
Awesome. So I think you have the software pulled up already, actually. Can you just quickly give our viewers a quick preview of how it works?
Sure.
Just so you guys know, the software is called DFY Jewelry. That means done for you jewelry. Nice and simple, I know.
All right, so you should be able to see my screen now. And what you can see here is it's an easy layout, right? We make it as user-friendly as possible because, again, speed and efficiency. And you can see over here on the right, on the left, where am I doing? We have mother, right? You can actually select different people for your the end user, the person who's going to wear the jewelry.
Yeah, so if you wanted to like give jewelry to a daughter, a friend, let's say the daughter's birthday or the daughter's graduating,
exactly,
or even a gift for your wife, an anniversary, Christmas, like all those are covered. They can just go in there and select one of those templates. Or one of those categories, and we will have templates in each of those categories for them to choose that have already all made at least $10,000, correct?
Exactly. So we did the mother phrase earlier, right? So let's stick with that.
Okay.
You can see a whole bunch of mother's designs here. All of them are great. I really am a big fan of this one right here, though. So you can see that popped right over there. That's the message card. And it's got this phrase on it. Now, if I hover over it, I can make it my own, right? That's the big important thing is
you can edit it.
These designs are very proven, but now we're going to put our message on top of it and do that unique product that we've been talking about.
So we can just use the message we got earlier. I can't remember what it does if I scroll up in my notes. Yes, the world
I got it in
looks
my
at
copy
you.
paste. No worries.
Cool.
So we got, to my mother, the world looks at you and sees a mom. I look at you and I see the world.
And then
you can make it a little better there because sometimes the text is a little long. So we made it a little friendly. Here's where it gets really cool. Again, to save time, you would have to download, if we didn't do this feature, we'd have to download this, upload this, see if it's good. We want to make sure it's as easy as possible. So what we're going to do,
make sure it looks good with the jewelry in the box, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to press this little box right here. Check that out. Jewelry pops on to the product, and we even take it one step further because Shine On actually does these really cool renders and makes it look super like a product. You can actually preview it like this and check it out. Takes a little bit of a second because we are rendering some images here. But check it out. There it is. To my mother, the world looks at you and sees a mom. I look at you and I see the world. Now, this is why we do it actually, because I kind of screwed this up. You can see that the eye is a little off. So all I have to do is exit out of this and go back and move it a little bit over, and boom, it's going to look way better. Take a little time to render, and there we go.
And
boom, there you go. Now this full phrase is on there. You can keep playing with it, making it perfect to your liking.
Yeah.
But now you know it's on a proven design and you got your unique message.
But the point is, it took you, what, like 3 seconds to do that?
Yeah, even with a screw up. Yeah.
Even with a screw up, it took you like 3 seconds. But you got all these proven templates. They've already generated 5 figures. You didn't have to learn how to be a designer. You didn't have to use a complicated software. You didn't have to learn a software. You didn't have to spend a lot of time doing it. Like we said, the whole reason you started this business is because you want to save time.
Exactly.
So you can make money. You can make 6 figures, make millions of dollars like you're doing right now, but also spend time with your family while you're doing it and live a life of freedom. You know, see your daughters growing up, travel the world and do all that. So that's absolutely amazing. And then you just download it and upload it to Shine On. And we'll show you guys how to do that in just a sec. But I love it, Matt. So what you're doing essentially day to day is you got these softwares, right? Finding the products for you. Then you got the software to make the design for you. You're probably sitting in your living room, sipping on your favorite drink, which I found out today is either The Rock or Andy Frisella's tequila. Now,
go back and forth a little bit.
I was thinking it was going to be Mick Ultra because I thought you were a beer guy, you know, Anheuser-Busch and all, but what, is that even made by Anheuser-Busch?
It is.
Okay, see, or you know, I'm learning on this podcast as well. But you're just drinking, you're sipping on your tequila, spending some time with your family in your awesome house. You're listening to music, watching TV, just finding these designs, getting all these messages you like. Once you find the messages, you upload them, or you rewrite it in your own version, I guess, first.
Yeah.
You upload them to this software, and then boom, upload them to Shine On. Does that all sound about right?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it all works, right?
The whole process takes like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you get better with it over time, and it'll just be like me, even with a screw up, that was about 30 minutes, so from end to end. So it's not a time-intensive business model. That's what we were aiming for.
That's amazing, man. Really quick, I actually do want to show people. We've got the design. Let's just show them really quick how to upload it to Shine On.
Okay. There we go. So this is one of the stores we work with. You can see right here. This is actually a great interface. They just really updated this. It looks fantastic. And you can see our all-time sales there, right? Just over 25,000 with... I love the profit margin, right? Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, so good.
Yeah, and
so,
this particular store is just like a few weeks old, right? Like
it's just getting its legs under. It's a couple of months old. But it's 471 products totaling $16,000, over $16,000 in profit. So I'm not going to upload it here because there's a lot going on in this store. So let me go over to this dashboard here. And this is one of our test accounts, and I will upload it here. So still see my screen here. If you go down to create a new product up here in the top right corner, let's go ahead and look for that product that we had just had, right?
And maybe, I don't think while you're searching, I'll let people know because I think I might have glossed over this, but this is shineon.com. You can keep looking there.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. This is just shineon.com. You go here, you create an account. It's totally free, and you just upload the card. So you just made your message card in the software. You just go to shineon.com, and this is where you'll upload it. They don't have a monthly cost or anything, and they do all of the work for you.
Yeah. And as you saw me on my screen here, there's tons of option in here. Again, all proven. But I want to stick with the product that we had, right? So it's right here, I'm going to hit Create Product. And here's where we upload our artwork, right? So all I have to do is go to where I just downloaded that and slide it over. And there you see it booms. Goes right there, uploading, continue to product assets. This is where it gets really cool because of all of these different options that Shine On gives you. Again, all proven. I can't stress that enough because a lot of people and a lot of sellers, I hate to say it out there, or suppliers, I'm sorry, just throw stuff at you, right? Kind of like I was doing at the beginning of my career, but these are all proven.
Yeah.
So now we have these renders perfect, ready to go. Here's that upsell box that we were talking about earlier. You can see it down here. It looks very good. But look at all this pre-filled product descriptions, your prices.
So everything
it looks great.
Yeah, and everything's like basically done for you. They're not having to build a website. You don't have to write product descriptions. You don't even have to come up with product images or anything. It's all done for you.
We just got to throw a title in here, To My Mother, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and just a reminder, like Shine On, they're hosting your store for you. And when you make a sale, guys, you don't even have to ship the product. You don't have to collect credit card information. You don't even have to talk to the customer if you don't want.
Right.
Shine On will do every single thing for you. Once you make a sale, you just get the money. You keep the money. Shine On does all of the rest.
Yes, absolutely.
So are you able to show them the storefront real quick or publish it so they can check that out?
So let's hit Publish Product. Sit tight.
This is the part that always takes a second. I'm like, guys, it takes 5 seconds to do. the longest part is actually waiting for Shine On to process it, which takes 30 seconds. So no, it's not a 5-second business model. It's a 35-second business model.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And then you have to like keep refreshing the page until it shows.
It's kind of nice though. They give you a little progress bar, and there we go. Now we say view in store. Boom. Oh shit. Store's locked.
It's fine. The store's locked, but that's really all the work you have to do, guys.
Yep.
So that's our fault. We have a password on the store. Like I said, it's our test account, but it takes like 30 seconds to remove that password. And you can see then essentially all you have to do is start running ads to your page, which we're going to get to in just a second. But that's how all of it works. You can get all of this done, as you saw, in like 15 minutes. So you start off with like the message research, right? So you can do the Amazon way, Etsy, Hallmark, Pinterest, or you can use our software that's just going to have them all handed to you on a silver platter. And I mean like the messages, like the mother one that we found. Then you can either use Photoshop or hire a designer to make designs, which is good. It's a little time consuming. It costs money. Or you can use our software, which we can show you how to get for free. And that's all proven to sell items, right? They've all made at least $10,000. And then you don't have to worry about designing anything or hoping a design will work. You're just getting proven to work ones. And then you just come over to Shine On, like we just showed you, and upload it. Make sure you remove the password from your store, which is really easy. And, you know, that's how you know, like when you're doing these things live, mistakes happen, and we're not going to.
It happens.
Nothing we can do about that now. But the point is if you use the softwares, or even if you don't use the softwares, maybe you just use the design tool plus Shine On, and then you use Amazon or Hallmark or Etsy to find the designs. All in all, like the first time you do it, right, it might take like 25, 30 minutes. After that, 20 minutes. 15 minutes, and then you can get it down to 10, 5 minutes per day. You're going to want to do it every day just so you know you're out there testing, I assume, right?
Yes.
But the point is it's not a time-intensive business model. That is why you sold a $20 million business to build this, because it's still able to generate you. I mean, we saw you made $1 million in the last month.
Yep.
That's you've only been doing that since basically the beginning of this year, a little bit longer, but
a little over a year.
So you've been doing it a little over 12 months. You're already to $1 million a month. And you're doing it without the huge time investment, which why this is perfect. Like even if someone has a full-time job and they're looking for something to do on the side, or let's say you just want something to do like in your free time, or you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, or you just want to exit the rat race, like that's why this is so good, because it allows you to start a business without interrupting your life. Or if you have nothing going on, you know, because like COVID, you're just sitting at home doing nothing, right? It's the perfect business model to do. So now we've got our products. We've found the messages, we got the designs, we got them uploaded, we're ready to sell it. But how do we figure out who to sell it to? What's the best way to get the right people to your piece of jewelry and buy it?
Without a doubt, man, it's Facebook ads, right? I mean, it's basically perfect for this business model, and the things go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You're able to target people on such a level that you can put that product we just created right in front of the right people and be really sure that they're about to buy. And it's and there's some cool tricks we can cover. Do you want me to pull up my Facebook ads?
Yeah, and guys, this is insane. So like, I know that we're all a little creeped out about how Facebook knows so much about us, but for us, like as business owners, although it's still creepy, it allows us to make a lot of money, and it will soon allow you to make a lot of money. So yeah, Matt, pull up your Facebook ads platform. I think you already got it pulled up. Let's check it out.
Yeah, and just a reminder, guys, you can do this as little as $5. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's not like some huge investment. You can just get the ball rolling and make sure these things are right.
Yeah, real quick, I want to add, if for those of you who don't know how to open a Facebook ad account, it's really simple. You just go to business.facebook.com. As long as you already have a Facebook account, you'll be able to open up an ad account. And if you don't have a Facebook account, you just create one of those by going to facebook.com, which is really simple. So, but after you do that, you'll see a screen similar to the one that Matt is going to show you right now. This is Facebook's ad manager, essentially. And Matt will quickly walk you through the process of launching an ad that will make money based off of the product we just created. So, Matt, we'll let you take it away.
So you can see my screen here. Ignore all the stuff in here. This is a little test account that we have. So there's a lot of things going on. Most important thing.
We test a lot.
We test a lot, and I've been doing this for a long time, so it feels like 50 years. So this little green button's the thing we need to pay attention here, and it says create. So with Facebook, they have a lot of jargon that they make their own. The most important thing is this conversions option right here. Conversion means purchase. We're going to go for people who convert or purchase, right? So simplifying that a little bit.
It's even worth noting something about that, like, what Matt just said is so revolutionary because we didn't always have this tool when we're running Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And what Matt is saying and what Facebook does is that Facebook will actively seek out people who are buying things.
Yeah.
Like they will only show your ads to people who buy things. It's so interesting. So it's not like your ad is just showing to everybody on Facebook, right? It's showing it to people who are most likely to purchase. And there's even more targeting to that, which Matt will show you.
Yeah, and it goes from there. It's pretty crazy what they can do. But let's do this real quick. This is a little bit of the nitty gritty. You got your campaign here. We're just going to say tests.
And that's just a name. It doesn't even matter.
You could say to my mom, right? That to be good practice here.
Yeah, it's just to help you identify it.
And we'll just say demographic targeting, right? So we'll say that, and then ad. Just simple over the shoulder stuff. So ignore a lot of this, right? A lot of what you're looking at here is not really important at this moment. We're going to go over here where it says demo, I just said, and this is called the ad set, right? So this is where you get the targeting done, and you kind of tell Facebook, where do I need to go? Like Facebook is asking you the question right now, where do I need to go? And this is you saying, start here. Right?
So when you say that, you mean where should the ad show?
Exactly.
Okay.
So whose news feed should I pop up on, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
And you're just kind of guiding them in the right direction. What people don't realize is Facebook gets better and optimizes over time, right? So they know if Devin buys something from me, they might say, hey, Matt's a lot like Devin. I'm going to show it to Matt, right? They're that level of detail. So it gets better over time. But you are the guiding hand at this moment. So this is where Devin was talking about this conversion event. It's a big red box, so I'm going to address it. It says choose an event. Obviously, we want to do purchase, right? Because we're going for the sales.
And when he selects purchase, essentially what you're doing is you're telling Facebook, hey, only send me people who are likely to purchase.
Exactly.
Not people who are likely to add to cart, not people who are likely to browse around, people who are actually likely to purchase from me.
Exactly. So there's a lot of other stuff in here, much more advanced. We can get ourselves started by just kind of paying attention to this section right here. So we got the daily budget, $20, right? Everybody's different. You start with what you're comfortable with, but as a business owner, you're challenged to kind of figure out what your budget is, right? I'm going to start with $25 because that's a really good place to start. But like you said, I think $5 is where you could start.
And that's just your daily budget. So, $5 a day is acceptable, $10 a day is acceptable. If you're just beginning, the most that I think we would recommend, and you might feel differently, but it's like $20 to $25, okay? Obviously, some of you might be multi-billionaires and do spend whatever you want.
Yep.
But, if you're a normal everyday person, like most of the listeners are on this podcast, that's the whole purpose from delivery driver to CEO, how regular people can become millionaires or at least making six figures with their own terms. $5 a day is perfectly fine.
Yep. Yeah, and it gets you started. Then you can reinvest, and as you get comfortable, grow from there, right? You and I started with, I think, about $5. So
I started with $5.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. So here's your location, right? Now, Shine On does sell internationally. So you could go to Canada and UK if the product fits. But here's the big question, right? The age, because we're selling a product. Now, remember what product we're going for. It's the To My Mom product that we had just created, right? So we have to think through, that's the big piece of this, is who would buy this for their mom?
Yes.
And you got to put some realistic thoughts into place here, right? So I'm going to hit this edit because I don't think somebody at 65 might have or just the odds are that your mom's not around at that point.
Just being realistic,
Just being realistic, especially the plus symbol there, because unfortunately, my grandma is not around, but your grandma might be on Facebook, right? So she might be in her 70s. And my dad's in his 70s and on Facebook, right? So that he fits into this. So let's go down and select something a little bit more realistic. We could go 18 to, say, 45, right? Just kind of playing the odds. And you can always expand from there. So just get yourself started. And it says all genders here because, again, we're thinking who would buy this for their mom? Well, everybody's got a mom, right? For the most part. So you have the ability to hit everyone here. And then Facebook, again, will do a lot of the legwork for you. They're going to say, this person responded to it, so let's show it to more people like that because they know it. They know based off of what you do online that you're probably like a lot of other people here.
Yeah, it's almost like a snowball rolling down a hill, right?
Exactly.
So like once one person who's your target market interacts, it's like, okay, let's show it to people who are exactly like this, and then it just keeps picking up more and more and more and starts rolling steam, and then the sales kind of like start piling in. So it's awesome.
And here's something really secret that Facebook, not everybody utilizes, but I'm going to encourage every single one of you to do it.
You piqued my interest.
This detailed targeting right here, this is where the fun can really happen, because there is something called engaged shoppers. And hopefully Facebook cooperates and pulls it up. There it is. So it's a behavior.
Yes.
Meaning that this is how people are behaving on Facebook itself.
Yes.
And it basically means that they are actively hitting the Shop Now button on ads. And that means they're kind of, in the market. They're kind of playing around. Maybe they haven't made that choice for Christmas. They haven't made that choice for the anniversary that's coming up, the birthday that's coming up. And you could be right in front of somebody's face who is actively shopping on Facebook right now.
So just to be clear, we've already set the objective, right, which was to only show the ad to people who are likely to purchase, right? But now you're taking it one step further and showing it only to people who are literally in the process or trying to purchase things right now.
Exactly.
And you've set your target market.
Yep.
And boom. Launch that bad boy.
Now it's about putting that product in front of them. So a lot of this different stuff is the nitty gritty stuff that we don't need to really cover right now. And just using this automatic placements right here, it's something it's recommended, as Facebook says, but it'll get you started. What's important now is we go hit this blue button in the bottom right and go to next. So this is where we will actually build our store. Our ad for our store, right? Sorry.
Freudian slip, guys.
Been talking for a while. So you got a lot of things going on here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and deselect this little blue thing because I want to use an image. It says single image right here, and you're going to want to hit that. Sorry, there's a lot going on here, but they usually, they always test and stuff. So we had to clear a couple things out. Follow my steps again if you see that. But basically, I'm trying to get this media right here, add media button to show up, and I'm going to add an image.
Yeah,
right?
The image from Shine on that we got earlier.
Exactly.
Assume. Yeah.
So I'm going to hit this. I'll pull this up. Might be off screen for a second. There you go.
While this man uploads and downloads, I'll make funny faces at the camera.
Here we go. Now we're getting here. So check this out, guys. Look at that product. That looks amazing. It's got a wood box around it. The car's up. The jewelry's out. The light's coming down. This looks like a great product for your mom, right?
Yes,
this looks something unique.
But I assume it's amazing.
It's amazing. I'm going to say it's amazing because we just made it. And so, you know what? The best part about this is going to be the message card, though, right? Because the message card, they're going to see this awesome product, then they're going to read it, and it's going to smack them right in the face with all those emotions.
Yes, that's what gets them to click the ad, and that's what gets them to buy.
Yep. And we have some text that you can put in here. Obviously, we want to use this call to action that says shop now, but we do some simple ways of getting people's attention here in this primary text. I'm going to roll through it just real quickly. We call it the CIC method. It's connect, incentivize, call to action. Don't overthink it. It says, let's put it this way. Mom. Yeah, need a perfect gift for mom. Perfect. And we like to say, give them a discount here, right?
So like save 10%, something like that.
Yep, save 10%. Because you're a Facebook ad, and they didn't come to Facebook to see your ad. So we want to incentivize them to buy right now, right?
Yes,
so
and people love discounts.
By using code, and people love discounts. XYZ, and then we're going to say shop now again, right? Because they want to connect the dots, right? I see shop now, I hit shop now kind of thing.
And that's what a call to action is. So you heard him say connect. That was that first line. You're connecting with the shopper. Incentivize, giving them a discount. Last line is call to action. People always want to be told what to do. So you say, hey, shop now. Just a gentle reminder. And that, I know it sounds silly, but it gets them to be more likely to purchase.
Yeah, and you can see what I'm doing here while he was talking. I just kind of filled in some gaps here. The headline is just kind of a reminder. And then we actually reiterate, just because you're on a news feed, you might scroll past it, reiterate that we have 10% off today. So again, keeping it simple, right? The KISS method, right? Because
keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Because the product is doing most of the work for us. And then we also are sending them to this great Shine On page that we couldn't show, but it's a great page with a lot of great info and these great images with a proven template and a really good, unique message. mixing this all together. The site's going to do the work for you. Your objective here is just getting them over to the right page.
And then once they click the link, did you publish or?
I did not.
There's one last step. You just click the green button, which is publish.
So you would put your URL here. I put Google here just so the image would show back up for you. But this is where you would grab that unique URL that your product created and hit publish, and you're ready to get some sales.
Yeah, and the best part about it is you're sending them to your Shine On store. Like Matt said, you didn't have to build that store. You're not paying monthly for that store or anything. You didn't have to learn to code, anything like that. Shine does all the work for you. All you had to do is upload your message card design. And now when someone buys that product from you, Shine On is going to receive the order. They will ship it automatically. They're going to package it. They're going to send your customer their tracking information. You do nothing. You just put the money in your pocket, and that is all. It's just like a numbers game. And guys, to make things even easier, we actually have another software that we've created. Like I said, we love to save time. We love to save money. Anything that we can do to save time and money is going to be made because we use it in our own business, and then we like to extend it to you guys. Like you said, Matt's whole goal was to spend more time with his family. My whole goal is to live a life of freedom with my wife. I don't yet have children. So we like to create software to automate everything. But this is a Facebook ad automation tool that essentially will run your Facebook ads for you. And then, after you launch the Facebook ads, there's a little more intricacies. You have to see, is it working? Is it not working? The Facebook ad software takes all the work out of that for you. What it's going to do is tell you to turn an ad on if it's good. It'll tell you to turn the ad off if it's bad. It'll tell you to spend more money if it's making sales. It'll tell you to turn it off if it's not making sales. Right. So essentially, if you don't know how to run Facebook ads, or you kind of have an idea but you don't feel comfortable with it, this will kind of walk you through it a bit more. And we'll get more towards that a little bit later. But we just know we created another software to automate all this for you. So Matt, that really is an outstanding model. And we kind of went over your results, for the past 30 days and all that. Can you just show us what it was like for the past year?
Yeah, I actually still have my dashboard pulled up here. So here's the last 30 days again. It'd be a funny thing to kind of check out. Maybe everybody would like this. I don't know. Let's see how many sales have come in since we showed earlier.
So. I think it was 8,000 earlier. And that was, I don't know how long ago. It was 40 minutes ago or something.
Yeah, so hit apply on today. We're at $10,427.
So in the past 30 minutes, maybe let's just say an hour, I don't know how long it's been, that we've been talking, another $2,000 have come in, and you haven't been working on it at all.
Nope, just sitting here talking to you.
Boom! Yep. Just like that. So that's outstanding. All right, so how about the year to date?
Yeah, let's do year to date. So actually, I think we might be close or over a really cool marker. Yep, that was right. So we are year to date, as you can see, $5,038,591.
Nice, man. So that's this new business. Well, it's not necessarily totally new. You started a little bit before this year.
Yep.
But we're basically at the end of the year now.
Yep.
But this year, you just started it. You've already made it to a multi-million-dollar business. And you're able to spend more time with your family and do more what you love, dude. That is so impressive.
Yeah.
All I want to know is what happened next.
So after we saw some amazing results with this model, like you just saw, we wanted to see if we could create something that virtually anybody could do. So we created some step-by-step systems, obviously created this software, and we bundled it all together so that anybody could really achieve results upwards of similar to what I got with this model. And that's where the jewelry profit system was born.
So for those of who are watching right now, they're in a similar position to you once were, right?
Yeah.
Maybe can't have a job, or they just have that itch, they want to scratch. They know that they want more, the freedom, the income, the ability to say no to the boss, maybe just do whatever they want. And they want to move forward. They want to build their own passive income online with this model. Can you share more about what Jewelry Profits is and how our viewers here can join today?
Yeah, sure, man. So Jewelry Profits is a business suite with virtually everything that you need to start, run, and grow your online business. And look, the goal is, like we've been talking about, is to turn it into a passive income stream so that you can do the things that you enjoy, whether that's time with family like me, maybe just the freedom to do whatever you want and not have that daily grind to the job that you were talking about, but really just enjoy freedom as a whole.
Yeah, I think that we can all agree that our why is all different, right? Yep. Maybe some people just want to scratch their itch. Some people want to travel the world. Some people want to have nice things like Rolls Royces. Yeah. I've had a GTS, a 911, a couple of nice cars. Our old partner had a Lamborghini. if that's your thing, that's your thing. Now we've settled on family, but what we've built here is to try and allow you, the viewer, to accomplish whatever it is that you want. So we made a system that takes as little time as possible with the highest profit margins possible. That's also as easy as possible. I know, a lot of possibles to get started with, right? So what happens once you're in, Matt?
Well, you'll get access to all the tools that we've been talking about. We have a lot of checklists, the step-by-step course that's in there. That's really big for everybody, obviously taking you from A to Z on how to get everything running. But then, of course, we like to have one step forward and helping you with that support structure that we were talking about earlier. With me, it was Amanda, but we need to have something. We have weekly coaching calls. You have access to us in a Facebook group that helps you surround yourself with people that are like-minded and get the journey that you're going on.
So just to be clear, that would be software tools. So that's all the software we went over today, and we'll reiterate over that. But that's the product research software. We've got the product design software, so you don't have to hire a designer or learn Photoshop or Canva or something like that. And then we've got the ad tool to automate your ad process, as well as the entire course. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's hard to remember.
Yeah.
But that is covered in depth, everything you need. And if you ever have suggestions, we're actually very open to them. We've got a couple thousand students in there right now, and we're open to any suggestions you have, and we always want to iterate and make things better. But right now, the way we see it, we already have multiple successful students. We'll show you some of them making 5 figures. We have students making, a couple thousand a month, all the way to students who are making up to $1 million plus per month.
Yep.
All following the same exact system, training step by step that you'll get access to today. So, Matt, can you give us just a little bit more detail of what is inside?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, we're going to be covering the step-by-step 7-module course that we have, right? The most important thing is laying some groundwork. The most important thing, and one of the biggest things I see people screw up, is not knowing who their real customer is.
Yes.
And so we have a walkthrough of really helping you define who that's going to be.
So a lot of people, when they're getting started, they're so obvious. My customer is just like mom, but that's a huge mistake. And we'll show people how to avoid that. We've got an in-depth section all about that. And once you get the target customer right, it's like things just happen. Things just fall in place. It's so easy to make those sales. It's like what we went over today, but it's on steroids, just easy, boom. You put a product up, people start buying.
100%. But in order to do that, right, we need to walk you through setting up your accounts. So we covered really quickly the Facebook account. We covered the Shine On account. But how do you get those things rocking and rolling? We start you from scratch on those and get you all set up. Yeah,
because we kind of went past that part today. When you guys watched, we already had a Shine On account and a Facebook account. We'll show you to set those up. It's really simple to do. It'll take you like 10 minutes.
Yeah. And so once you have your account set up, obviously, what do I do next, right? Well, we start finding those pieces of jewelry and matching them into the message, right?
Yes.
And that's a really important thing, too. We kind of glossed over for the sake of time. But, I picked something that actually, if you go back and you saw that again, not right now, you wait for it later on at a later point, you were matching a good piece of jewelry with the right message.
Yes.
There's actually 2 hearts on that piece of jewelry, right? Well, we were talking about a relationship possibly between mother and daughter, a mother and son, right? So 2 people, 2 hearts on that piece of jewelry. We matched them together, and it was a perfect fit.
Yeah, and what happens is we've seen this many times with our students, and we try to beat it into your head so you don't make this mistake. But there are instances where our students have tried to pick a necklace like that double heart one and sell it to a dad or something. Yeah. Not really going to work. As much as dad loves you, he's not going to wear that diamond heart necklace, Yeah. So we'll show you how to ensure that you always pick the right piece of jewelry to go with your message so you never waste time and you always, get to that profit instead of wasting money on, you're not going to sell any of that. You're going to spend maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks on ads. It's not going to be a huge loss of money, but we want to ensure that you lose no money, lose as little time as possible. If not, hopefully you don't lose any time. Right, so we'll walk you through that in depth.
And that's truly part of knowing your customer, like we talked about earlier, too. So the next step is you got that product, so we're running advertising now. So a really important thing to take care of is what we call the golden metric, right?
Oh, yeah.
So am I making money or am I not making money? That sounds super simple, like a question that's out there. But unfortunately, when people are so new in things, sometimes they just put ads out there and they don't truly know if they're making the return that they think that they're making. So we talk about this golden metric in the course, making sure it's 100% clear that you are doing the right steps. And obviously we want you to scale You're scaling appropriately too on the right products.
Yeah, and that's just so important because if you go out there and you don't really understand this metric, it's like you have no idea if it's working or not.
Right.
And that is stressful. And that's why it's really dangerous to try to go out there alone without fully understanding. And on top of that, we're going to get to it, but we've got the Facebook ad software that's going to do all that work for you.
Yeah.
So it's important to know the metric because it's
You still need to know what you're looking at.
But once you get this software, it takes almost all the work out of it. And that's only available through the Jewelry Profit system. So Matt, what else is up?
Well, speaking of advertising, now I usually don't do this, but we do have a little quote unquote hack. Hack. It's an advertising hack that if you utilize this in your ads, you're going to get much better reactions and you're going to get much more targeted on who ends up purchasing from you, and you're going to be able to scale much easier. So we're going to cover that in detail to make sure you're using the hack
and
that you need to be.
It's worth noting that we're always on the lookout for these hacks. Other coaches or gurus will always have tons of hacks. We don't come out with like a ton of them because we're using a proven model that's worked for us year over year over year. It's almost to the point where we're beating a dead horse. Like we've done this system, right? We took the system that you're using for t-shirts. You made $20 million with it. We transitioned it into a business model that has more freedom and higher profit margins, okay? Because it's less research, less work, less overhead and all that stuff. No more monthly fees, got rid of all that stuff, right? So put it into a system, and now it's like we're not super exciting. We don't have tens of thousands of hacks. What we have is a business model that works and generates high profits with as little work as possible. So if you want like tons of new and exciting stuff all the time that makes money for like a week, you can go with someone else. If you want someone who has a system that's been tested year over year, real quick, I'll put up our screenshots, or I'll have Austin do it. I'm not going to do it. But the screenshots for the year-over-year revenue, we can start off in 27 up till now. So you should be seeing those on the screen. But as you can see, the income grew year over year over year up to the point where Matt sold his store. Now he started a new one. And this year to date, already at $5 million on a brand new store while spending time with his family and actually enjoying his life. That's right. Not going to have a ton of hacks, but every time we do find one, which we do sometimes, and they're pretty damn good, we'll share them with you, like the one that you get when you join today.
So the next part of what we're going to be talking about is obviously you kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit, right? Now you're getting products out there, you're using the hack, and you're making some sales. Now we got to turn this little bit of money, this casual income that you're making, and take it into a business, right? So that's the next step of taking a little hobby, you make a little bit of money. How do we get that into a business?
Yeah, and that's just massive because like you did, you sold your business, right? A lot of people, they come online, they try to play these little games with these online businesses and they make money and that's good. But, you're not going to want to do this forever. I'm not going to want to do this forever. And what I mean is, like hosting a store, we want to sell it for a huge multi-7 or 8-figure payday. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like if you're drop shipping from China, even if you have one of these Amazon businesses, it can be almost impossible to sell them. This is a business that you can be proud of, that you actually own, that investors will buy. Literally proof. This man built a store, got it to 18 million, just under 20 million last year, took that and sold it. Okay, we're going to show you exactly how you can do that. So you don't have to work forever if you don't want to. You can do this, you can make money from it year over year, or you can get it to a place where you're really happy and get that nice multi-7-figure payday or 8-figure payday, and then invest your cash and do whatever you want with it at that point. But I think that part is so vital, and that's something that most people always skip over because they don't know how to do it. They're not actually building real businesses. And what we're showing is how essentially the simplest way to build a real business that someone can be proud of, that generates cash flow, that allows freedom, and that you can sell.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
That's just massive.
Yeah, and the last piece we're going to be talking about here is just that. How do you get to that figure? You don't get to $18 million in a year without a brand, right? So brand comes with name recognition, loyalty of your customers, people coming back and returning to your store. It's so much easier to sell to that person that's already bought from you than then go find constant new people. And so transitioning from hobby to business to brand. The last piece of that is getting that name out there. So eventually either the money's a little easier, getting into the passive income, and eventually you can sell it.
This is huge.
Because no one buys a hobby. People buy a brand.
And I think that it was up there. I'm not sure, but when we were sharing your income earlier on your dashboard, I believe it showed the repeat customers, if not. But
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that on average, like 20% of your daily sales around there, correct me if I'm wrong, is repeat customers. It's like 15 to 20%. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I believe that's correct. And what you got to remember too is I'm scaling as we go, right?
Yeah.
So it's 10, 15, 20% of a scale business. If I was just flatlining, it would be much higher, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to note that while we're scaling and getting all these new people at the same time, we're still having that 15, 20% return rate.
And just to put that into layman's terms for everybody watching, Matt is spending so much money on advertising right now. He's acquiring a ton of new customers every single day. But even if he wasn't running ads, he could still run a multi-5-figure business just from repeat customers because of the brand he's been able to build. And the great thing about repeat customers is a lot of the time, you don't have to pay to acquire them. It's like email marketing or SMS marketing. Obviously, you're going to have your retargeting and stuff like that. So those people you are paying to get back. But you can get up to 5 figures a month in income just from selling to your past customers. And nobody else teaches this either, except for like one person. But their business model is not applicable to anyone because they sell really high-end skincare, which is completely different, right? So it's just absolutely insane. And we'll show you exactly how you can do that. So Matt, I think next up is the software. Can you give people here a little bit of an idea of what's included in our software suite?
Yeah, so a little refresher because we talked about them, but we got the DFY jewelry software, right? That's where you're going to upload you're going to pick from a bunch of uploaded templates and designs, and you're going to, all which are proven, big sellers of the 10,000 and above, and we
paste your design.
And just take that unique message, put it on your design, match it with a piece of jewelry, and boom, you can download it, upload it to Shine On and go.
Yeah, so the software is so simple. All you do is you go in there, like Matt said, you select a template. We've already got them all in there for you, and we're constantly adding new ones. That's important. We just added 50 new templates within the past 30 days, so always getting more. So you're going to have the freshest designs, proven to sell. All you have to do is spend a few minutes finding, messages to copy and paste into the software. Boom, just like that. Which brings me to the next point. We've got our product research software. So you don't even have to go looking for designs. Our software will literally hand give them to you, right? And that's called Cookie. Matt, why don't you give the people a little bit of an idea of what Cookie does?
Yeah, so we talked about all the places you can go, right? If you wanted to manually sit down, go to each one of these individual sites like Amazon, like Etsy, like Pinterest, you could, right? But we're all about, we've been talking, whatever it's been, an hour, 2 hours.
Freedom.
We're talking about freedom. We're talking about saving time. And so we created Cookie to put it all into one place for you and help you do the majority of the work for you, right?
Yes.
And automate it so it's fresh all the time, making sure that you're just getting some new ideas constantly put into your feed.
And just to give you guys an idea of how that software works, it's basically a search engine. You log in, you pick, the Etsy searcher or the Pinterest searcher, and you literally just enter mom card. And instead of like sifting through Amazon results or sifting through Etsy results or sifting through Pinterest results, you just sort by bestseller, boom, then you got the new ones. And you can even narrow it down. So if you want to see the bestseller in the past 7 days, past 30 days, past year, it's really easy. It's just a click of a few buttons and you'll have designs handed to you so you can quickly find them, a couple minutes, and then upload them into the DFY jewelry design software. And that brings us to our last piece of software that you're also getting with the whole course. And by the way, guys, that wasn't even the whole course. Like, we just kind of glossed through it.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. So if there's anything you felt like wasn't covered, anything, I can promise you A to Z it's covered. And I know it is because of students like Tiffany, who we'll cover in just a second. But the last software, Matt, I'll cover this one.
Sure.
Just because you haven't had a chance to play around with this one as much as I've been messing with it. But it's our Facebook ad automation software. And with this one, it's extremely special. This is something... Essentially, the whole reason we made this one was less about us and more about the consumer, because we've already mastered Facebook ads. We've been doing this for so long. It's so easy for us to log in and just understand. But for someone who's just beginning and doesn't know how to read Facebook ads, doesn't want to read the numbers, like a lot of people, it's like, I just want to know if it's working or not. Like I don't want to spend time trying to figure out if this is good or bad, or if it's bad, what do I do? And that's why we built this software. It's called Ad Sherpa, and what it does is it connects to your Facebook ad account. It's an approved app by Facebook. So Facebook is like kind of allowed us to make this app. They give it their stamp of approval. and it is an app that's built through Facebook. It connects to your Facebook ad account, and it gathers all the data from your ads. It reads it. It tells you what to do. So if an ad isn't making sales, it'll say, turn this off. Or if an ad is making sales, but it's still not profitable, it'll say, turn this off.
Yep.
If an ad is profitable, it'll say, increase your budget by this much to X amount per day. So if you're spending $5 a day, it might say something along the lines of double your budget up to $10 a day. And if an ad isn't working, the best thing, the coolest thing is it'll actually tell you how you can fix it. So if it says that your cost per link click is too high, it'll say, hey, your targeting is wrong, or hey, your ad picture is wrong. So you can fix it and know what's wrong instead of trying to, rip your hair out and figure out, why are my ads not working? You just get it right. And if you don't get it right, the Facebook software will tell you exactly what to do to fix it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because you say, I haven't played around with this software yet, but it's basically me feeding them my logic, and they're putting this into this software. So, a lot of the moves that the software makes are just my moves.
That is exactly true.
Yeah.
We basically had Matt write down and give us a bunch of formulas, and I won't even bore you with those because that's why we have the software, so you don't have to worry about them.
Yep.
But it's how Matt calculates his profitability. We took those and built it into a machine learning type AI software, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and to that point, right? Everything that we're talking about here is exactly the step-by-step processes that I have and the research methods that I have and the ways that I run my ads. And we bundled all of that together and put it inside of Jewelry Profits.
Yeah, so essentially what Jewelry Profits is a step-by-step system. It is your exact system. We saw your results. You had the store that did 18 million last year, and you have the new store using just this methodology that's already done 5 million, brand new, freedom, nice and easy business. And that's what Jewelry Profits is. It's exactly how you did that, step by step in course format, plus software to help you automate every single step of the way based on your business.
Absolutely.
So I think we have some student success stories that we're going to get into. So Matt, can you tell me a little bit about Tiffany?
Yeah, so Tiffany is, it's definitely one of our best students, right? She's making, I believe, $30,000 a day. She's been with us for a little bit. She's one of the early people in.
Into the Jewelry Profits system.
Into the Jewelry Profits system.
Yeah.
And, I could talk about her all day, but maybe we just let her speak for herself. So let's play a little clip from her real quick.
Austin, fire it up. What, 11 or 10 a.m. there right now, and you're already at $10,000 there. Yeah. You're making more than $1,000 an hour right now. That's outstanding. Congratulations to you. That's huge. I bet like a year ago today when you were thinking about joining this isn't what you expected.
No,
it's what you hoped for. It's what we were dreaming of.
Absolutely. Let me just show you this really quick.
Okay.
So this was our yesterday's sale.
Huge. That's amazing, Tiffany. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. So a quick backstory. So on Mother's Day, we found a winner and we scaled it literally within a week. And our best day, which is the last day before the cutoff, was one order shy of 20 grand.
Oh my God. Now you just smash through that. Every time it's just going to get a little easier and a little easier and a little easier.
Absolutely. And, we were watching the numbers and we're honestly, both of us, my partner and I, we're both in disbelief. And obviously, so there's a little sinking time, but it also means that our hard work, our strategies, our mentoring from everyone, including you, has absolutely paid off.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, right?
It is.
And it's not just Tiffany. That's the cool thing. We actually just have an unbelievable amount of student results.
Literally,
it's just crazy.
Thousands over the years.
Yeah, Devin's a little bit of an ADD guy about these collecting screen grabs. So let's go through these real quick. So I'm going to bring up my screen and check this out. Cody right here, year to date, is over $1 million. So it's not just me hitting 7 figures. It's not just Tiffany.
Yes.
Immediately right off the bat, Cody's hitting here, right? And it just kind of see it continue to go, right? Here's Caesar doing 10,000. A lot of times when we talk about these numbers, sometimes it can be kind of
seems unrealistic.
Yeah, up in the clouds kind of thing. But what about $10,000, right? In a month.
Would that
what you can see right here.
Life-changing?
That would be life-changing.
Yeah.
And that changed both of our lives very early.
Oh, I remember it.
David over here, again, I just love the margin of these products, right? David's got 54 units sold, $2,600 in profit.
This is massive.
It's just massive, right? It's just, and David's absolutely crushing it to this day. This screenshot right here, I'm pointing to, like you can see it. Let me move my mouser over to it. You can see this is Tiffany right here with the $29,988 day. 633 orders. Just truly unbelievable. I'm unbelievably proud of what she's been able to accomplish. And again, we're talking about pie in the sky numbers sometimes. Maybe 10,000 is too much, but here's Ashley with $400 in sales. It's got to start somewhere, right? So you start 8 orders. Again, just love the margin. 8 orders, $400 in sales. Absolutely fantastic. Great job, Ashley. And look, guys, I could obviously do this all day, but we don't have all day because look at this. Let me just continue to scroll and show you just how ADD Devin is about collecting these results.
That's not all of them either. We have a lot more, okay? Yeah. I promise you.
But I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom as fast as I possibly can. You can see images are still loading.
So these are all students who came through this program or one of our programs and was able to generate an income of their own. We just have an endless amount of them. We could talk about it all day. We could show you every single one. But we're just giving you an idea by scrolling through them how many people just like you were on one of these calls and were able to generate an income for themselves and change their lives. So you can get the same system and all the tools, our step-by-step system, the software to automate all of this. You can get access to it for $997. That's $997 today, which is literally 1 cup of Starbucks a day. Okay, for something that could change your life and enable you to spend more time with your family, more time with your friends, less time doing things you hate, and more time doing things that you actually love, things that you enjoy doing. And you can get started today by going to scup.net/jewelry. You'll get instant access to everything that we've mentioned, and you can start building the business of your dreams today. But even though that's an amazing deal, it's not all. We've actually got more to include for you guys today. And Matt, do you mind telling everyone a little bit about the bonuses that we prepared for them just to make the deal even better?
Yeah, so if you join today, you'll get access to everything, all these bonuses that I'm about to talk to, right? So the first one is the monthly coaching sessions, right? So we talked about support early on in this call, right, and kind of throughout it. So we want to develop something that could support you with not only what was working a little bit ago, right, the proven things, but what's working right now. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about what I'm actually doing each and every day in the businesses and the stores that you're seeing and what's working right now. And you're going to be getting not only access to that in those calls, but we actually devote some time to critique your campaigns because we want you implementing. A lot of times people are just simply looking at videos and not implementing. We challenge you each and every week and each and every month to come in here with implementing your actual store, getting it out there, and then I get to critique it for you.
Yeah, and that's massive because it's like people aren't just going through a course, right, and then they have to figure out on their own how to implement the course. They're going to actually be able to get on call with you personally. You, like Matt, will be there talking with you. It's not some random person, and helping out people with their business. So if you're ever lost, confused, you just have a question you want answered, you can hop on the call, ask Matt. Matt will tell you directly what to do. But that's not all because that's only a monthly coaching call. It's really good. Like getting on with you once a month and going through everything is outstanding. It's worth a ton of money. But we wanted people to have support weekly, which brings us into the next bonus, which is...
I actually let the cat out of the bag a little bit and said weekly there because we do actually have a weekly coaching call as well. And that's with Tiffany.
Yes.
Right? Someone who is a couple of steps in front of every one of you, getting to the point of almost $500,000 in a single month. She's absolutely crushing it, but she's more, let's say, new than I am. I'm a kind of a seasoned vet in this area. So we wanted to make sure someone who's just gone through not only the process, but the exact same process that everybody else is going through.
Yeah.
She's just absolutely crushing it right now.
And that's so important because, while you've been doing this like a really long time, sometimes you forget like some of those beginner things.
Did it on this call. Yeah.
So you forget like a little bit of those beginner things. So we had Tiffany. She was one of our test drive students, literally one of the first 5 people to go through the Jewelry Profit system. And she was able to go from $0 in sales. 6 months later, she was at $30,000 a day in sales. And right now, I think they just had a nice, they're still doing $30K a day right now or something like that. I know they'd done at least $250,000 in the past 2 weeks. So it's been absolutely insane. And we asked her, like, hey, Tiffany, you've been doing such a great job. You're our favorite student. No offense to all of our other students. I actually sent her a bottle of champagne.
She's the nicest person in the world, though, too. So it's easy to.
You're going to love her. You're going to love working with her. I sent her a bottle of champagne the other week that said she's my favorite student. I hate to play favorites, but sometimes you do. But she'll be in the Facebook. She'll be in the group coaching you every single week. So every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and the recordings are available instantly, by the way, and you can ask questions ahead of time. You can get on call with Tiffany to review your products, ads, ask any questions, and do whatever you want. And like we were saying, the reason that's so good is not just because Tiffany is at $30,000 a day, which is amazing. She's an amazing person to learn from, and even veterans like ourselves could learn a lot from her.
Yeah.
But because she's still so new on her journey, a lot of these beginner mistakes are fresh in her mind. She just got started. She went through all the trials and tribulations that our newcomers here will also be facing. I mean, dude, it was only 12 months ago she was at zero. Now she's making $30,000 a day. That's how quickly your life can change. But she's been in the spot that you're in right now. She went through it. She came out on the other side, and now she's got a passionate, passive income doing something that she loves. And she'll be getting on that coaching call with you every single week to help you out. So that's just massive. And then our next bonus, I accidentally let the cat out of the bag on this one as well.
We're making that a habit here. It's a Facebook group, right?
Yes.
And it's a group of people who are on the same journey with you, right? Because we talked about it, again, earlier in this call, where you make some moves and you create your own business, and kind of the people around you kind of look at you like, you're doing what now? You're selling jewelry? Are you sure?
Yeah.
What that's not going to work. And then you can come to this group and say, well, it absolutely works, right? I have a coach her name's Tiffany, and she's absolutely crushing it, right?
His name's Matt.
My name's Matt, and he's absolutely crushing it, right? So that's what, I think back to our early career, even how we met, right? We met in a Facebook group.
Yep, the lab way back in the day.
The lab way back in the day, man. And I think that is the environment we're trying to build here, right? This culture of everybody is on the same mission. Everybody's living a life of abundance. They're helping each other. Some people are even partnering up and creating businesses together because they want to share the load and build the journey together.
I love that you brought up the partnering up aspect of the Facebook groups, because that's actually what Tiffany did as well. She was able to get into our program, find a partner through our support system, and together they built a nice $30,000 a day business. Yeah. And the reason it's so cool to partner up, like, you don't have to do it if you want, but there's two types of people. There's like doers and people who are creative, right? And if you're one or the other, you don't feel like doing the other one, you can, so if let's say you're really creative, you can come up with a bunch of message ideas. You can partner up with someone who has capital, someone who's a doer and can implement on other aspects of the business. So it's so powerful, and you can do that through the Facebook group. But two other points of the Facebook group to reiterate on what we mentioned earlier on the call is support system and focus. Like you said, without someone who was supportive of you, and you touched on a little bit, Amanda, right? You don't even know if you'd be here now. So having access to that Facebook group, having access to the like-minded people that are on the same singular mission to follow the jewelry profit system and change their lives. Having that supportive group of people you can talk to, that you can learn from, that you can network with, that you can become friends with, that you can turn into your family. When you do something like this with people, you become so close. It's life-changing. You make friends that will be your friends for life, who will support you and help you through all this. Not to mention, you can ask questions in there and get, if you don't want to wait for a coaching call, you can ask Matt and I, you can ask Tiffany a question, and we'll answer it. It's a little bit cooler when we do it live on camera, because then you get to hear our sweet, sensual voices. Not really mine. Mine's a little shrill. Matt's is pretty good. Tiffany's is good too. But the second part is focus. So a lot of the times in an entrepreneurial journey is people get off track. Like you said, one of the big things in your career was you tried launching 10 stores. You're doing this, and that, and you're spreading yourself too thin, because the entrepreneurial journey isn't always like this, right? It's like, wait, what am I doing? Oh, wait, this isn't working. So this way, God, no, and you're getting off course. And what the Facebook group is I consider it like guardrails, the bumper rails at a bowling alley. You put those up to keep your ball out of the gutter, to keep your ball from going off course, right? The Facebook group is the same thing. You're in there with like-minded people, you talk with them, and they push you in the right direction. So if they ever see you going off course, you ask a question or you make a post. And if it seems like you're going off course, ourselves or even your peers or our other coaches, they will be that guardrail. They will keep you on track so you can get to that destination at the end, which is that passive income business. And this has been a huge reason for our success. I mean, like you said, this is how we met. It's just huge. And it's totally, I mean, like this alone could be worth the price of admission, but
Absolutely.
It's just a bonus. I mean, you get everything else, the course, the software, the coaching sessions with myself and Matt, the coaching sessions with Tiffany, plus the group. I mean, and we have even more bonuses to give you. So this
I was going to say, wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. That guy, they actually filmed those in St. Petersburg. I'm
weird.
Just saying,
Weird.
we're that city. So Matt, on that note, why don't you give people an idea of what bonus number 4 is?
Bonus number 4 is the email marketing profits. Actually written and a video course created by the people that did my email on my $18 million store.
Yes.
Right? And so, yeah, it has, 44 to 1 ROI. Of course, it costs a little bit of money to send out an email, but these are your returning customers. So these are customers that you've been showing great products, delivering great products, and they are happy to buy more products from you because you gave them high quality, happy, emotional products, right? That filled a void, right? I needed to show my mom some appreciation. So I bought this product from you. You delivered it to me. It was great. She loved it. Of course I'm going to buy it from you when my sister's birthday is coming up, or my wife's, whatever. And so we talked about taking a hobby into a brand. And one of the ways that you do it is you got to email. You got to reconnect with them. You got to nurture them. You got to lead them down a path with you on where your brand is exactly going. Not only on your journey, but your store's journey.
Yeah, I think the best way to put this for everyone to understand is email marketing is just huge. It's almost like printing money because you don't have to spend money on ads. You have your email marketing fee, but it's like that's only it's minuscule. It's dollars a month, unless you have tens of thousands of customers, and then it's be like $1,000 a month. But it doesn't even matter because you're making so much money from each person in there.
Gladly pay it.
But for a while, it's going to be free to do. And Matt told me a story. This was probably like 3 months ago. It was he was like, you know what? I'm going to just email out a special on my store and see if it makes any money. I think it was because Amazon was doing their cyber. It wasn't Black Friday or Cyber. Oh, it was Amazon Day. That's what it was. It was an Amazon Day thing.
Yep.
So you're like, I'm just going to send out an email and see if it makes money. And so he just created this special out of thin air, sent it out, and boom, he made $3,000 just like that. And it's like, well, I guess now I can take my family on a vacation, right? So that's exactly what email marketing profits is about. Along this journey, you're going to acquire customers. You're going to be able to email with them. You're going to be able to resell them. And we're going to show you exactly how we do it. And Matt, I think on that $20 million store, you made over $1 million per year with email marketing.
Absolutely.
So it's just absolutely massive. And like I said, it's basically like printing money. And we'll show you exactly how Matt did it. And it's, like we said, created by the exact people who did all his email marketing. He didn't do it himself. But we got the pros in there to do it for you and show you exactly how it's done. So guys, just to reiterate, all of this, right? Jewelry profits. Okay, you get the course. All the course that shows you A to Z how you can accomplish all of this. Okay, you're going to get the DFY jewelry app that's going to create your message cards so you don't have to hire a designer, you don't have to learn confusing software or pay for confusing software because the software is going to be free with your jewelry profits package, right? You're going to get Cookie, which is our product research suite. So you'll instantly have a treasure trove of products and message phrases that you can put on those cards in DFY jewelry in just minutes instead of, wasting time scrolling and doing all that. You just, boom, you got them. You're going to get our Facebook automation software, which will tell you exactly what to do with your Facebook ads. It'll run your Facebook ads for you, essentially. You just, do the little things it tells you to do. You're going to get monthly coaching sessions with Matt, and that's going to be absolutely outstanding. On top of that, every single week, you're going to get coaching sessions with our $30,000 a day student, Tiffany, who was just like you in your same position on one of these calls just a year ago, and now is making $30,000 a day. And it's also helping people like you and other people all around the world change their lives. You get the private Facebook group where you can stay on course, make friends, ask questions, and you're going to get email marketing profits. All that for just one payment of $9.97 today. And Matt, where do they go to sign up?
At skup.net, skup.net/jewelry.
Just like that, you go there and join us. And when you join us right now, we're going to send you a Skup swag package. I don't know if you guys can see, but right here behind me on the ground, it's pretty dark in there because we've been doing this for so long. But on the ground there is, it's actually because it's going to rain. That is the packaging materials. I actually package the swag myself. I even write you a nice little note when I ship it to you. I know you probably don't care a whole lot about the note, but that's just a thank you gift for joining us. It includes a tumbler and a t-shirt and some other cool stuff just to, welcome you to the family, essentially, so you can rep your new life and have a daily reminder of this journey you're taking. So to get started, guys, just go to scup.net/jewelry. Go there right now. Join us inside Jewelry Profits and start building your online passive income business today. Matt and I will be right here by your side every step of the way. And Matt, what if someone joins and decides, but they decide maybe this isn't a good fit for them, or you just don't want to do this anymore?
That's a great question because, we really stand behind our product, right?
Yeah.
And so if you come in, you sign up today, you give it all of the effort you got, right? We have a little refund policy called the You Win refund policy. If you give it everything you got, you implement everything that we show in the course, step by step, and you don't get the results you're looking for, then hit us up, show us what you did, and we'll refund you the entire course and give you an extra $250 to boot to cover your ad cost.
So just to be clear, that means if you go through the course, guys, it doesn't work for you, and as long as you actually implement it, we ask that you actually give this a try. If you don't plan on trying this out, don't join. But if you want to actually give it a shot, try it out and see if you can change your life, which we know you can because we've already seen tons of students do it before. You've seen Matt's results live on call today on this podcast. We've shown you all of our other students' results, but if for some reason you can't get it to work, or even if you try it and just decide you don't like it, hit us up. We'll give you a full refund plus $250 to cover your ad costs. So that means there's two outcomes here. Either A, you try it, you love it, you make a bunch of money, and your life has changed. You can finally live that life of freedom that you've always wanted to live, that you've known, that you felt inside. Like you've always known that you want more. You were here to do more, right? You either unlock that life, or B, you try it, it doesn't work out, you get your money back and a little bit extra. So either way, you're coming out on top. That's how confident we are in our products. And if you want to get started, all you have to do is go to scup.net/jewelry, follow the steps on the cart page, and let myself and Matt help you start your online business of your dreams today so you can create your profitable passive income stream. Matt, fist bump, bro. Thank you for joining me on the From Delivery Driver to CEO podcast, where we show how everyday people like Matt and I once were. I was a Jimmy John's delivery driver, hence the name Delivery Driver to CEO, how everyday people can build million-dollar businesses from the comfort of their home and change their lives forever. So Matt, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
I'll see you guys in the next episode. And don't forget, with the 30-day refund policy, there's nothing to lose here. If it works, then you have a business that changes your life. If it doesn't, hit us up, get your money back. We have support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year with a 5-minute response time. We also have phone support during regular business hours. If it doesn't work, give us a call. But go to scup.net/jewelry to get started. And guys, I'll see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.